All right. We're back right now. We're back right now. Let me know that the sound's good. Let me know that everything is good in here. I apologize about the technical difficulties. Like I said, hey, when we're starting off with something new, with a new live, there's just new things to iron out. I ironed out some things, and then other things I still have to play into account and add to my checklist. But that's just anything in life. Like I said, we're going with full speed, so that way you can iron out the mistakes later on, or different things that you need to change, or different things that you need to incorporate into your business structure. Don't have too much analysis with paralysis. Everything doesn't have to be perfect at first. It's just that we're going to end up getting everything smooth. So that's where we're at. Let me make sure that everybody's here. Let me see that. All right, then we're good. Let me make sure that I have some of my paintings up. Awesome. All right. We're going to get right into it. Look, I even have my screen right here, so it looks better. So that way that I could read the comments that's going on here. I can read all the support. I appreciate your patience coming back in here. So that way, yeah. All right. So tomorrow it's going to be much smoother. Every day is going to be smoother and smoother and smoother until we get this live thing figured out. It was crazy because I think the microphone or the camera didn't come through the right, whatever. All right, let's get into this. We already wasted enough time. Um, See, now let me grab my paintbrushes real quick. All right. Now, this is how I like to do my paintbrushes. I like to have where I clean the paint off at. This is, where I have the metal spring underneath of this. And then this is where I kind of like keep it in the meantime, where I have water, wherever, anytime that I need to have additional water to put on the canvas, or just to keep the paintbrush wet. But also what I do with these is that way, if I have a larger paintbrush, I can just kind of clean it off in this. I don't want to clean the larger paintbrush into this smaller one, because then it's going to make the water a little bit too murky. All right. So welcome to the studio. I hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. Hope that you're able to follow along in this process of what we have today, that you're going to be able to paint, that you're going to be able to be active, that you're going to be productive. I hope that you enjoyed yesterday's stream. That was a pretty cool first stream yesterday. It kind of went over the things that I've learned from it, is that it went over a little bit too longer, but that's fine. I mean, maybe sometimes that I will have 4 hours or whatever. Like I said, I don't really think about the time too much, but I think on this one I'll try to stay within the 3 hours kind of thing. That way we can just have a schedule of whatever it is. Whatever happens over the 3 hours, it happens over the 3 hours. Yesterday I was able to complete 15 paintings, 15 paintings in one, so 16 paintings, but I was able to do 15 14 by 11s and one 16 by 20. And that's fine. I mean, it was also a learning thing too, because we're also learning. I'm also here talking to you, and I'm keeping things, entertain, edutainment, right? Let's see what we have here in the comments. All right, let's see. All good. I'll be painting, not talking. That's awesome. All right, let's see if we have any other. All right, I appreciate everybody coming back here. But yeah, so let's just get this thing going right now. Let's just see what we could rock out with. Let's get some paintings going. Let me open this up. And then what I've learned from yesterday as well is that I have my references ready. Yesterday I didn't have kind of a structure idea on what I was going to do for my reference photos, but at least today I have more of an idea on my references that I'm going to do. Oh, thank you. I loved yesterday. I was just about to ask someone right now. I was going to be like, "Hey, leave a comment just so that way I can know that it's being updated." Brenda says that I loved yesterday. I appreciate that. That was so much fun. I really had so much fun. I mean, it's crazy. We did it for 4 hours, but it just seemed like 30 minutes. It made the time go by. But I'm not going to lie to you. Yesterday, I was exhausted afterwards. Now I'm just grabbing my canvases. I didn't even, normally I open these up. I didn't even open them up yet. Oh well, we'll do it together. We'll do it live. Normally I would have had these open already, but that's not a big deal. Let's see what we get done today. I'm on my way home to start painting. That's awesome. I painted 7 pieces. That's so cool. You know what's so cool is that what yesterday I got a lot of comments from people saying that they were able to paint more yesterday, or they were able to be a little bit more productive just by following the stream or just painting along. And I thought that was so cool. I mean, because I mean, that wasn't my intention, but I'm glad that that's something that's happened. Today, I think that I don't know, maybe we go a little bit faster, maybe not. I don't know. I think it'll be the same thing. Today, yesterday, I titled the video, "Let's do 20 paintings," right? So I think that's why I went a little bit over, because I was trying to like at least get close to that 20. And I can knock out that 20 for sure in less than 3 hours if I'm by myself. If I'm by myself, I'm focused and I'm not like, I'm still getting over the thing where it's like I'm live right now, so I'm still a little bit vulnerable and self-conscious. But I've been doing it for so long where it's still fine. But there's still that, and then there's still where we had talking points. I'm looking at the screen. I'm it's the whole thing. You get what I mean. Yeah, I was exhausted because I was drawing and talking. So it's like it was like mental. But then what's crazy is that even afterwards, I still worked. I had a coaching call yesterday, and then I still worked online. I replied to some emails. I worked the community, and then I did some other business things. And then I went home and I didn't even go to sleep. I didn't even go to sleep until late last night, which is crazy. One of the things that you can do for yourself, and I learned this from a millionaire, or maybe billionaire, close to a billionaire. But they said that the thing that you don't get too much in the habit of setting an alarm clock for when you're to wake up. Set an alarm clock for you to go to sleep. Because the hardest part really is that we just get adequate enough sleep or not, especially if you're older. And we're older, so for us, we might wake up in the middle of the night, or we might not get great sleep. But the thing that we can control is what time that we go to sleep. So that way it's not so much where it's like, oh, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. or I have to wake up at 7 a.m. You'll naturally wake up at that time, or you'll naturally be rested, as long as you set an alarm clock for yourself. Like, for me, I have an alarm clock set at either 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. And for me, that works. So that way, when it goes off, I still give myself at least less than 30 minutes to, I still give myself at least 30 minutes to get ready, or to mentally shut down for bed. And then naturally I'll wake up, whenever I'm rested or whatever. When I wake up, it's still early enough for me to take care of my stuff. It's not too much about the alarm clock, because everybody knows we hate that feeling of waking up early in the alarm clock, right? But the thing that's I've learned when I really started being focused in my business is focus on what time that you go to sleep instead of the time that you wake up. Mm. All right. I think we're good to go. So let me lift this up a little bit. My easel. All right. Boom. Let's see what our first painting is going to be. I think our first painting is going to be a Felix cat. It was going to be like a cartoon cover, but we're going to make it into our own. Boom. That works for me. Let me make this a little bit larger, and then like this. Yeah, that works for me. Since I really painted a lot yesterday, but I still need a week for painting. Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, let's move this over. Let's get this going. I like doing some of these vintage cartoons and some of these things right here. You can make it into your own. You can play around with it. I like doing them because people love vintage cartoons. Why not? So let's just go straight into it. But I like going rough into it, making it really neo expressionism. So large paintbrush and then just light blue. Let me put my timer on so I can know where we're at. I don't want to hear that annoying beeping noise though. There we go. The battery dead? Oh no, it's not. See, I got it. I'm cooking it up to 90 minutes right now, but that way we don't have to hear all that beep, 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 beep. Boom. All right. It's cooking down starting now. And then this one is cooking up. Hello, Sally. Glad you're here. All right, let's get this going. Like I said, you always want to give people something different. Sometimes just think outside yourself and give people a chance to have something different. You see how rough I'm doing that? How rough I'm doing that blue? That's the beauty of it. It doesn't always have to be where it's like connected so pretty. A lot of times the less the best. It's the confidence of it. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, shoot, if you don't if you don't want this, you don't know fine art. You're crazy. All right, so we're just going to do it like that. And then in the middle, I'm going to do like a light pink. Because why not? Boom. Look at that. And you see, I'm just doing that with the large paintbrush. There's no thought into it whatsoever. I'm just trying to get the most color done as possible. And then later on, we get into our principle. All right, so let me take out the heat gun and just dry it. Don't stab the canvas. No, that's later on. I'll do that on the last painting where I'll stab the canvas. That was such a mistake, but it happens. It does happen once in a while. It's rare it happens. Usually, when that does happen, my assistant is the one to tell me when she's shipping out. She'll be like, "Oh, there's a hole in this canvas. I guess there's nothing we can do." I'm like, "Oh yeah, there is." Over aggressive pastelling. It wasn't. I swear, I wasn't even that. I think it was because the pastel wasn't soft. It's one of these like they're a little bit more thick. They're more hard, and they're from Blick's art store. And it had a point to it yesterday, so it had a sharp point to it. That's what happened. I promise. I swear. Even though I have a heat gun, I can't stand to like at times wait for the paint to dry. That's why I love working with acrylics. I don't know how you do it with oil where it's like, you know, I played with oil a little bit and it's cool. It's fine. But I just need the paint to dry faster so I could get on to the next one and I can sell it. I might paint something today that somebody might want tomorrow, and then what? Then what you gonna do, right? You can be like, no, I just painted it. It still needs 2 weeks to cure. They're gonna be like, huh? I want it right now. And I found this Corbellic guy. He has paintings that's in acrylic that's ready right now. I'll just go to him while you figure your oil stuff out. No, I don't know. I like how acrylic blends, but it's just so messy. Like if you're a blending artist and that's your thing where you're like blending in the colors, especially if you're doing portraits, you know, that could be cool. But there's also ways to work around that when it comes to acrylics. People always think like acrylics is so like caveman or something. There's ways around. You could make a blend. I make my acrylics blend. I know how to blend them really good. It was good to see how you fixed it. I sold one when I pulled it to ship. I saw the hole, I fixed it just like you did. Yeah, exactly. You can put duct tape on the back of that thing. And then the buyers won't even know. I'm gonna tell you, all right, I'm gonna tell you another secret. And I'm pretty sure other artists know this trick as well, but it works like a charm and the collectors love when you tell them to do this. If you ever have a collector that hits you up and they say that the painting is or the canvas is warped, or like, you know, like if the canvas is warped, or it might have like a little wrinkle in it, or how it was delivered, or there might be an issue or something like that, which you can easily tell them is to sprinkle a little bit of water on the back and let it dry. It doesn't take long. Let it dry a few minutes, and then it'll come back to its original position. So you could do that as well. That's if you ever have some. That's if you ever a canvas or something like that ever arrives to the collector and it's warped, or there's a serious type of wrinkle in the artwork. Just tell them easy fix. Don't worry about it. Just just spray or sprinkle a little bit of water on the back. Make the canvas damp on the back, and then it will straighten right up like a perfect canvas every single time. Yeah, it works. Really works. You know, you know. What are y'all gonna be painting today? Anything interesting? I pulled a few references before the live stream. I pulled them real quick, so I don't even really know what I'm gonna be painting. Today, after I get done with this, I wanna set up where I'm gonna put this on different streams. I was meant to do that yesterday, but I just didn't have time. I was creating a trailer for the live. So on the last video or on this video, were y'all able to see a trailer before we started? Like were y'all able to see like a mini trailer? Oh, you're gonna paint a space girl? That's awesome. Yes, I saw the mini trailer. Okay, that's cool. What did you think of the mini trailer, Brenda? Yes, the trailer was good. That's what Pam said. Thank you so much. The trailer was awesome. I appreciate it. You know what's crazy? It's like I spent so much time last night making that trailer. I know it might seem simple or whatever, but it might seem simple, but I don't know why I spent so much time. I spent so much time last night making that trailer. And I guess that'll be fine for now, maybe for like this year, but people always update their trailers. And maybe I'll just keep that trailer for like this year and then I'll advance it in the future. But I thought, I wanted to highlight kind of the aspects of who we are and what the channel's about, kind of thing. You gave me goosebumps. That's amazing to hear. Wow. Yeah, I wanted to have like, some type of effect. Like, I don't know. You know what I always say. You know what I always say. I don't know what I'm doing, but I think that's what the advantage is that if we don't know what we're doing, but we just trust what's intuitively good or what we think is what looks good. Because a lot of times when people don't know something, they do so much research on it and they try to ask too many questions to other people. What do you think it is? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Instead of just going off of your instinct of what you know is good. It's like if you go outside, the sky is blue, but there's actually some people out in the world who will be like, they wait for permission from other people to say if the sky is blue. There's some people who are like that. There's some people who are so into their research and academics so much where they need a book to tell them that the sky is blue. They need someone else who they think is smarter than them to tell them the sky is blue. And me at times, I don't know. I'm not looking too much of. I just go off of what I know. I know that looks like a good color or that looks like a good message or whatever. I just try to always go off of that. And anything else, it doesn't matter. Whatever. If that makes sense. Do you paint a realistic Pink Panther? I don't know. Have you seen a lot of realistic Pink Panthers? Like, are there Pink Panthers out in the jungle? I don't know. Is there a realistic Pink Panther that's alive, or is there only the cartoon Pink Panther? What you mean? All right, let me dry this off again, just so I can write some cool stuff on here, and then that's it. All right. It's this always dry off here. He could have pink highlights. I made a Pink Panther with teal banana leaves for the background. That's awesome. Whoa, that's a great idea. Now you're talking. That's some serious gallery stuff right there. I really love these. These are solidified markers because they dry. It's kind of like oil pastel, but they dry as soon as they touch down. You don't have to spray them with a fix it or anything like that. All right, let's turn the light on this one and just freestyle the what we have. Yep, back on. Thanks for coming back to the studio. Sorry, I had technical difficulties, trying to figure these things out. This is how you get better with anything in life, though. You gotta go through the fog of mistakes. The cat, and then we're gonna put this as 25 cents. All right, and then we're gonna do some highlights of some abstraction of red, because why not? Red always looks good. I like the framings on the side of the red. And then we're gonna move on to this. Move on from that. That's that. We're done with this painting. I'm done with it. Let me put my signature on here. Take a picture. Then on to the next one. I'm not think too much about it. Look at that. Isn't that cool right there? Something fun, something vintage. I mean, this is our first painting of the day. It took us 12 minutes, 12, 13 minutes. Not bad. We'll get faster or we won't. All right. But that's fine. No, it's fine. We'll just get on to the next one and see what we have. I'm excited. This is way more. I always have fun painting, anyways. You know that, but I'm telling you, painting with you is so much fun. I should have done this years ago. That's the only thing that I'm kicking myself on, is I should have done this years ago. But that's life. You live and you learn. These pastels are called they're called Japanese solidified markers. I forget what the names are, but you could just look them up. Japanese solidified markers, and they're the best because, like I said, you lay it down and they dry, and but they still have that they're still creamy like a pastel, but they dry very quickly and they're solidified. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but you just have to work with it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful stuff. All mine smudge without the fixative. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, the problem with me too is like I still deal with pastels from time to time, but I don't like to deal with it too much because I don't want to spray too much. Even if I have the low odor stuff, I don't want to breathe in that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't want to do too much of the breathing in this stuff. There was a period of time when I was doing a lot of charcoal and I was doing a lot of work of the charcoal and I was doing a lot of the pastel and I was spraying the low odor stuff. And after a while, what I've noticed, I was like, it felt like I was like had a cold or something. It was weird. And I just basically said, I'm not going to spray too much of that stuff. So, there's nothing wrong spraying it from time to time, or maybe just put like when you're done with your artwork or whatever, put it to the side and then have that batch and then spray it outside, then that's fine. But yeah, I didn't, it's one of those things. And then when it comes to that, it's like I like to work fast. So it's one of those things. Yeah, I do have the air. I do have my air purifier down here. So I have my air purifier down here, but it's still not enough. So like if I run it right now, oh, it's not plugged in, but you would hear it and it would kind of be a little loud. So let's get on. I'm gonna do this French kind of this French poster thing that I saw, and I thought that it was really cool. Something different. We're at our own touch to it. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I said, be inspired by everything. Be inspired by everything, and you're free to do anything because you never know what audience is what audience. You'll never know what's what. You never know who you're painting for or what they'll love. Like so a painting like this, for example, I probably wouldn't put it up for auction I would put it into the buy it now store because it's such a specific niche painting where only someone who might really respect the French look of it or have more of an idea understanding of what it is than me, and they would really love it, or they would want it for their kitchen or for their bathroom. You paint so fast kind of reminds me of a tagger style approach. That's funny you said that because years ago, when I even before my gallery days, I wasn't tagging, but I was more of a I was graffiti. Well, no, I don't even want to say graffiti either because that just sounds bad. I wasn't a tagger and I wasn't graffiti, but I dealt with a lot of. I was doing more spray paint and urban art, I guess you could say. I don't even like that name, urban art, because like when you label things like that, it sounds like urban art, right? Instead of you knowing what you're doing and you're being an artist or a professional. It's kind of one of those things in the art world. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Pam says, y'all, his program really works. I've been sick for 4 weeks and I have not painted nor posted to eBay for weeks, but I'm still getting bids. That's awesome. I hope you feel better, Pam. And you know what's crazy about that, Pam, is like since since really coaching and then running my other businesses, but I still paint and make videos. I haven't been listing. I've been making a lot of the art videos, but I haven't been listing the art until January 1st. January 1st, I organized all these paintings that I had. I had like 300 paintings of pieces of art that I forgot to either list or put it up on eBay because so busy. And then even those get bids and they get looked at, or even artwork that that's the cool thing about eBay is that you're going to get to a point in your career where you have enough collectors that you don't need to feel like you're hustling it every single day because they'll always come back, and as long as you have art that's in your buy it now store, you'll always be selling stuff. Like my store is always selling stuff, even if I'm active on there or if I'm not. But it's beneficial for you to be active. And I wouldn't advise it or tell these type of stories because I don't want people to get the wrong idea thinking that they could just slack off because you can't slack off. You're not at that point yet. You're not at that point yet in your career where you think you can slack off. Don't slack off. Get the money. Be consistent because there's too many people out there who's trying to take your spot. I'm recommending your coaching to friends. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean it's really good for everybody. I mean, the blessing of it is this that my whole thing and my whole approach about the coaching is that I want everybody to have a different avenue. I mean, yes, the whole principle is also about you being financially independent and secure, but also you having a different avenue of where you're doing something, but also you have a way out. A lot of times there was times in my life where I was working these corporate jobs and I would pray to God for like a direction. And this is a way for you to have a direction. I even tell people too, like, even if you don't want to be a full-time artist, you don't have to be a full-time artist and feel like, dang, because a lot of people don't want to, a lot of people don't, a lot of people might want to do it, but then they don't want to be looked at as their friends and family, like, oh, so you're trying to be a full-time artist now that you're trying to make this as your career. And that's daunting. So people don't even start because then they're like, well, God, if I want to make a little bit of money from art, That means that I got to go all the way. I got to show it like that's I got to be vulnerable and I got to show it to the world. I got to show it to my I got coworkers who's my friends on Facebook, or I got my family, and then I got to show it to these people to be an artist. You don't. And that's the avenue that I tell people, like, you don't have to do that. To you don't You could be anonymous. You could be a ghost. Nobody even has to know that you do this. And the cool thing about it is that you can sell art on eBay because the audience is already there. No one has to know your coworkers, your family, and you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm a professional artist or I'm going to be a full-time artist. Because maybe you don't want to be that, but my whole passion about what I do is that I want to put you in a position where it could give you some money at least to alleviate some other issues, or it gives you a psychological advantage to go to the next chapter, whatever it is in your life. Not everybody wants to be an artist. I get that. But at least in the meantime, you can say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to go hard at this and I'm going to do it for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months. And then after that, I'm going to have an exit plan to do this thing that I really want. It's going to give me the cash flow to do this thing that I really want. If you want to go in that position, if for people who aren't in their mind where I'm not an artist, but then what happens is you've been doing it for 3 months, 6 months, because you said that was your exit plan. And then what happens is eventually you're like, that's who you are. It becomes that's who you are. And most people, they're not going to quit there because it's like, that's your part-time, you already been making an income off of that. You thought you were going to quit, but now you're not going to quit. Yeah, exactly. There you go. See, there's people out there who love the Art Nouveau. Did I say that right? Art Nouveau. I'm trying to be fancy here. All right. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. But yeah, see, and there's people who love that type of stuff. So that's my biggest nouveau. Oh, Art Nouveau. Oh, thank you. Art Nouveau. So that's my passion. My biggest passion is just to have everyday people come together, we inspire each other, and I show you that anyone can do this. Because if I can do it, and if I made a way for myself, then you can too. And anybody can do this where you don't have to feel like a lot of people feel like I got to go to an art school, or I got to go to art training, or I got to pay for some art no art novo. Oh, art nouveau. Oh, there you go. Art nouveau. Art nouveau. So I want anybody to feel like they can do this, especially because we work off the projector. We're not going to art school. There's so many art coaches out there, right? Where they're like, I'm going to teach you to paint like me, like you. Like that just means that you would try to be. That means that you're trying to copy them, and then you'll get frustrated because when you do it with your hand and your style, it's not going to come. It's never going to come out like them, and then you're going to think that, oh well, my art sucks because it's not exactly like this person who's training me how to do it, and then you're going to get down on yourself. So that's why I don't like those art classes or art schools or people trying to teach art, because they're trying to train you how to do it like them. I always say I'm not training you how to do like me, because I can't paint like you and you can't paint like me. The beauty that's inside of you, the genius that's inside of you is already there. Don't think that you need to go to some art school person to tell you that you're already a genius and that the art is already inside of you. I show that anybody can do this and that you can free yourself from society, because the way to really free yourself from society is to get your money. Because there's too many things out here where things are more expensive. We know things are more expensive. There's always even, there's always feel like in life where you can never get ahead. Even when there's the rare chance that you feel like you're getting ahead, something always comes up. And then when you have a regular job or you have different things, I'm just tired of seeing people where it's like good people aren't getting ahead or getting a chance, and maybe there's something else better that you would want to do. That's the beauty of what I find in helping people in coaching. It's not about the coaching itself or that. It's just whatever you want to do of your exit plan. If you do want to have an exit plan, and no one has to know about it, and then they'll be like, "Wow, so and so really. How did they buy that new car? How did they do what is going on over there?" I thought so and so was broke just like me. All of a sudden, they really turned the page. That's my passion. I love that because misery loves company, and they don't tell you that. In one of my videos, I talk about like finding your passion, right? And I'm saying how like one or find your passion, but find your why. I guess it's the same thing. Like finding your why can be your passion, and I'm gonna put Paris up here because people love the name Paris when they see art. They're like, oh, that must be fancy. It must be something artsy. Paris art. All right, I'm done with this one, but I just wanted to make it our own version. Let's do some whiskers. Boom. I like doing stuff like that. This is the type of artwork that I love doing. I enjoy doing. I have fun. Look at that. Huh? All right. On to the next one. Let me try to follow our stream on my phone as well. Yep, just what I imagined. On to the next one. Appreciate the way you set up, schedule it, and just lock in. It's V Streamline. It's I'm getting better. I'm trying to get better. This is the second one. I had a little bit of technical difficulties this morning. I was like 10, 15 minutes late because there was like a camera issue, but you live and learn. That's everything in life. Do everything full speed, clean everything up afterwards. Yeah, no, we're done with the second painting. This is going to be the third painting right here, and this one's going to be even faster. Oh, we're going to be cooking with butter today. Don't you worry. Look at this doggy. Come on. Look at this doggy. Are you kidding me? Beautiful. I love doing this. This is so fun. Tying up the old paint, huh? Trying to use up. Yep, you know it. Trying to use up all the old paint. I do have. Yep, I have old paint, but it's fine. Like if my palette's not that bad and clunky, I'll just keep adding on to it. And I paint straight out the bottle because I don't have time to waste. Let me tell you, when I first started off in my gallery days, I used to spend over an hour mixing acrylic. So I would take a certain acrylic, like I would do the gold, I would use the expensive golden acrylic. That stuff is so expensive. And then I would put it onto my palette. And then I would know I would have a separate side where I would do it on top of glass so I can mix it. Then I would pour in a medium, which is like it's a medium to make it flow. It's like a flow medium into the acrylic, and then I would mix it with a palette knife so it could be creamy and whatever. Then I would put it onto my palette. It would take me like over an hour to do all my colors because I think that was necessary. And it's so dumb. Like the mindset of people who work like that is so amateurish because you think the buyer cares about any of that? You think the buyer knows anything about any of that? Like you're just wasting time. And really what you're doing, you're just procrastinating because you don't want to work. You rather do anything else but work. Then after you're done mixing the paintings and you're done doing all that, you take another break because you feel like you worked. You didn't even work. You just mix paint. You ain't even do nothing. All right, let's go into this. So on this one, I'm just going to do the background first. So we that way we can have kind of a gesso base. Look, I still got some of the red paint that's on the big brush from the last one, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Sometimes we get some I'm telling you, sometimes we get caught up into doing busy work to make it seem like we're working and we're not. We get so caught up into I'm busy, but did you work really? No, you ain't really work. You just I was busy. And then when you look back at your day or you look at your numbers and you see that you didn't even produce that much for that auction day, then you're like, hold on. I need a paycheck today. How come I'm not getting that paycheck today? And then you look at your calendar or you look at the thing, and then you're mad when the auction happens that you only produced three paintings for that day or five paintings. I used to hate moments like that. I used to think that I'm busy. Man, I had a busy day. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, right? And then when the 10 days comes on the duration and the auction day hits, I don't have canvases like that that's hitting. I don't have a big casino night of people bidding. And then the only few paintings that I did put out there, I didn't put enough data out to the market. So those paintings didn't even do well. And then I'm pissed off because I'm like, damn, those paintings didn't even do well. And then in my mind, I'm always like, I wish I would have just put more paintings out. I thought I was busy. Yeah, you're busy wasting time. The Shiny Light says, just curious if you have any issues with old paint cracking, etc. No, I don't have no issues at all. I never have issues with paint cracking. Now, if I ever see, because I'm using a wet palette anyways, but if I ever see that it gets a little bit dry on here or whatever, like once or a few times out the day, I'll spray it down. I call it cooling off that paint. I'll cool it off so that way it doesn't get too sticky. But the paint that I use, it stays fluid all day. All right, that's that. Yeah, the paint that I use, it stays fluid all day, so I don't even have to worry about that. Liquitex, it doesn't dry out or any of that stuff like that. But if I feel like there's some that might get that tip on the top, I'll just spray it down a little bit with water. As definitely before I leave the studio when I'm done painting and I'm about to put the lid back on top, I spray this down a little bit on top of the paint, and then I'll put the lid back on top, and then that's fine. Back to business tomorrow. It is all good. Yeah, busy wasting time. Exactly. But here's the cheat code though. It's not so much our fault. It's the brain playing tricks on you. The brain will have you thinking that you've done something, but you didn't. And the way how to get past that and how to get in front of the brain wanting to do that to you is every single day have a calendar, like have a physical calendar. I think the physical calendar is better than the digital ones or whatever, or maybe I'm just old school, but it's just the seeing it written down on the calendar. Write down at the end of your work shift, actually write down how many canvases that you did that day, how much that you did, because your mind will believe that you did more than what you actually did and you didn't do nothing. So when you write down on the calendar at the end of your workday how many canvases that you actually completed, how many canvases that you actually did, you'll have an account for your sequence every day, because then you'll look at it every day and you'll see, okay, that day I actually did five. Like that way, when it's the 10-day duration that ends on that day and your numbers is low, you won't be as confused of why your numbers is low. You won't make excuses to say, oh, people are broke, oh, the economy, oh, it's holiday or whatever. Instead, you can look at your calendar and see, okay, what did I do that week? And then you'll look like, dang, all right, I fell off. It was actually my bad. But you won't know that because your brain will be like, nah, you worked hard and you didn't. And the brain will also like always choose the easiest route, but it'll tell you that you did something and you didn't. It's crazy. Brain's a mug. So it's just easier for you to write down what you actually did. Paper calendar, yeah, the paper calendar is the cheat code, and you can get a paper calendar from a dollar store. You can get it, very cheaply. Just get a paper calendar, and I always have one next to my studio. I always have one in the studio. Get multiple, get two of them. We have a new year now, so you can get just a paper calendar. It's better than the digital one. And then your brain can't play tricks on you as easily. Your brain will be like, oh man, you showed up that other day. You were so productive. You could just relax and kick back today. You know, you don't have to show up and paint that much, man. That other day, you really showed up to work. You did something, and then you didn't do anything. You were over there organizing your paint. You were over there doing backgrounds. You were over there. Like, I try to do things that straight to the source. Like, you can even see how I paint. I'm not wasting time with a pencil sketching. I'm not trying to. What I used to even do a lot, I used to prepare my canvases in batches on the table, and even though that's still cool, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking anybody that still does that, because you might be in your early phase, or there's nothing wrong with that. But what I've noticed is if I do the batches like that and I'm done, in my mind is already rewarding myself with dopamine, saying that you've accomplished something. And I didn't accomplish nothing besides painting backgrounds. And it's like, I could just do a background right now. Let me just do it right now and do a painting. I'd rather have a painting done than waiting around thinking that I'm going to come back later and I still got another job to do with the actual principle of it, if that makes sense. But you have to find the method of your madness. My thing is, as a coach, is just telling you different versions of the madness. Yes, that's the one. Sakura. Yes, Sakura solid paint markers on Amazon. Yeah, that's the one. Thank you for that, Chris. Those are amazing. I'm in love with those. And I know if Basquiat was still alive, he would love those. Yeah, you would love that too. Slog, slug, slog, slug. how do you every time I see that, how am I supposed to say that? Slog? Slug? Slug, right? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. All right. Now I'm just going to add another lighter color and then I'm about to go in here with a darker color and we're almost done. Oh, ooh, slug. There we go. Slug. Slug or slog? Slug. Yeah, slug. There we go. What am I thinking? Leave it up to that Corbellic guy to just butcher names. That's what I do. Boom. Hey, it's good to have you back here, Snap. Awesome. We got the squad up in here, back on another one. I love it. Years ago in a different life, I um I worked in theater and that's really what brought me out to Los Angeles over 20 some years ago. And one of the things that you would feed off of in theater is the crowd. If you had a packed house, then that means that you would have a better performance because usually people feed off of the crowd. So I think I'm having that kind of thing going on. It's like I always enjoy painting anyways, where it was like the camera's there and I feel like it's like therapy. I'm talking to myself. But this one is like it's better because I'm actually feeding off the energy where I have people like we're doing this together, right? I'm feeding off the energy of you being here in comparison to, me thinking to myself, well, maybe I do this and on this video, people are busy and they don't watch it till later on or they don't watch it at all. Then what? Or me having even the notion of being like, I think I got tired of feeling like I shoot a video because I could do this all day long, obviously. And I got tired of feeling like I could do this all day long. I shoot one video or one painting, and then later on I gotta edit it. I hate that. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that part's the thing that sucked. Like I could do this all day long, but the part that sucked is like the editing. And then the thing that sucked is like having to go in and edit one painting at a time. And it's like it might, and then it's different because the painting, I don't, you know how I am about the painting. It's so subjective and I don't care about the painting, but really it might have been the message that was in the video. But you might miss the message of the video if the painting didn't resonate to someone else in the thumbnail or if the paint you know what I mean? It might be a crappy painting, but it might have been an awesome it might have been a crappy painting, but it might have been an awesome an awesome message or an awesome gem or something that you could have learned to improve art. Can you put in a supply list? I have a supply list. It's in the elite community. Click the link. Click the link that's pinned in the chat or that's also in the description of this video. And then it's in the elite community. Full supply list. It's in the classroom. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. Hey, what's going on, Nerfy? Yeah. I'm enjoying doing the live. Well, I was just talking about that right now. How I feel so much better doing the live. He said, "Such a great idea. Thank you." And then I thought it was such a great idea doing the live because I was researching the market for it, right? And there wasn't really any artists out there who were doing live videos. They would do it here and there, but I think it was becoming cumbersome for them because they're everybody wants to be the perfect gallery artist. So it's like it's taking them time to do it. In comparison to us, this is the only one that I've seen out here where we're doing multiples in one video. Like, we got the lane open up for that. Everybody else, they're doing like videos where they would do one painting for 3 hours or something, or they wouldn't even be done at the end of it. I'm like, damn, why is it taking you so long? Oh, for the pastels? Yeah. I'll put it into the just look up Sakura. That's Sakura, or Japanese markers, and you'll find the solidify markers. Boom. All right, let me put some whiskers on him and then I'll be done. Feeding off the energy too. That's awesome to hear. That is awesome to hear. That's what it's all about. Throw some whiskers on here. And then here, let me turn the light on. I always do kind of like my whiskers last. You can never go wrong with a doggy because no matter how you paint the doggy, there's somebody out there where it's like it reminds them of their doggy. That reminds me of Coco. Did you do that for my Coco? I sure did do that for Coco. When I started this painting off, I had Coco in my mind. I sure did do that for Coco. I love Coco so much. I think that Coco wants you to pay $1,000 for this painting. And then Coco will really love you. Put it on the wall. Matter of fact, I think Coco wants you to get a larger version of Coco in 24 by 36 for $3,000. Coco will love it, and the family will love it too. Cherish it forever. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So you can do that right there. That's our dog right there. Look, we did that in 12 minutes. Not bad. All right, let's cook. Let's cook it up. Let's cook it up here. I'm getting down on myself because some of these paintings are like 12 minutes long. I need to be easy on myself. I'm always telling other people, don't get down on yourself. I'm getting down on myself. Let me restart the time here. Let's get on to the next one. Let's see what we have. This one is going to be a cow. I love doing cows for some reason. They're so much fun. A cow, a bull. Look at that. Boom. Here, let me zoom in a little bit more or zoom out. Yeah, like that. That's fine. All right, here we go right here. This is our cow. I painted plenty of these. They're great. They sell well. Colorful. Thank you. So that's so cute. All right. You know, when it comes to creating art, especially like this, most artists they fail because they don't have a system in place. You got to create systems in place for yourself. Brenda wrote, Corbelli, do you use spray paints? I used to. I don't have nothing against it. I like the flair of it. Like if I'm done with an art piece and I'll do like certain things. Certain things when you use spray paint, it makes things easier. The problem that I have is it becomes messy. You know who has really great spray paint? It doesn't smell at all. It's not problematic. I mean, you could go a lot of it even indoors. There's no smell whatsoever, and I think it's based off of sugar. Is It's Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has the best spray paint because it's not toxic and there's no issues. The problem with it is that if it's too wet and it's not dried all the way, and if you put a paintbrush on it, that paintbrush is practically ruined. And I don't like to do it. I work too fast, so I'd rather just do whatever effects that I have to do with the acrylic. It's easier. But when I started off, I used a lot of spray paint. Is 14 by 11 your favorite size? No, not really. I just work with it. More like I like doing 12 by 16s. So tomorrow I think we're going to be working off of a lot of 12 by 16s. I like 16 by 20s. I like them all. You want to have a variety of different sizes, you know? I just happen to have a whole bunch of 14 by 11, so I want to cook them off of my shelf. So let's dry this off. Back again. Good to see you. All right, that's dry enough for me. So let's get right into it. Now, what I was saying is that a lot of artists fail, or even businesses in general. It doesn't have to do about art. A lot of times, the main thing what I talk about is art, of course, when it comes to selling on eBay and things like that. But a lot of the principles of what I talk about is just business in general and things to be successful. And the things to be successful is having a system in place. And when I talk about a system in place, that way you're not drifting off. You got to have a roadmap of where you're going. You got to have a plan. If you ever say to a person who's really in shape from the gym, "How did you get in shape?" They're not going to say, "I don't know." They, they count macros and they do all this other extra stuff. If you're on a destination and you don't have a map, then you can't know where you're going. You can't know where you're coming from. So it's kind of like off of the same principle when we talked about the calendar, for example. That's a system. Knowing where you're going and what you need to accomplish. You can't know these things if you're just like, I'm just going to go into the studio and wing it. The brain's going to play tricks on you. And then also, what's going to happen in life when you don't have a system in place is there's always life circumstances and there's always situations and there's always emergencies. There's always something that's going to happen, something that's going to get in your way. And it's important for you to take life by the horns. That's funny. Get it? We're doing a cow right now or a bull, so life by the horns. But take life by the horns and already play defense because you know that it's coming. Always get in its way. Hey Zen Zen, happy that you're back. Have systems in place of what you're going to accomplish on your day, what paintings that you're going to do, having your stuff prepared and ready. Make sure that you have a start time of when you're starting the studio. That's the biggest thing. Don't just think, oh, I'm just going to start when I start, because then it's going to throw your day off. I'm telling you, one of the times that I was like in a really bad fog of business. Is I couldn't commit to my start time. Yeah, it's a Buccaneers hat. One of I have a studio that's in Tampa as well. So I'm in LA. I'm in my LA studio and I also have a studio in Tampa. I purchased it 3 years ago. So times I go back and forth, just depending. But yep, my Tampa hat. That's crazy. I went there in 2022. Yeah. Hey, treasure. So you need to think about these things, having a system. So for example, me, this is what happened because I understood the structure of eBay, right? Where you need to have a certain amount of paintings done by this time, or at least by this is how I used to think in my mind. And it's so weird if you don't have a start time of your day or when your business starts. If I didn't have a structured time of when I'm waking up to go to work, and if I woke up late, or if I didn't even wake up late, and I'm exercising and I'm doing all this other stuff and I'm thinking I'm being busy and I'm doing all this extra stuff. So by the time that I am painting, we understand that time goes by so fast. And then I feel like, well, by the time I'm starting on my first painting and it's 1 o'clock or maybe 12 o'clock, for me, I feel like I've already wasted the day and I'm not productive. So then it's like, well, I'll just start again tomorrow. I've already wasted today. I'll just start again tomorrow. So my problem is I would always have a reset. I would always be resetting my life and resetting my day instead of going into the day strong by having a system in place to knowing that you know what, I'm going to wake up at this time. Really, I need to be focused on when I'm going to sleep instead of so focused on when I'm waking up. I need to go to sleep early and then start early on my day, paint, get it done and over with. And this is even before I created the 90-minute rule. Because the 90-minute rule is such a key systems in place. And thank you for the super chat, Zinjan. I appreciate that. Also, yeah, anybody else in here, you appreciate all the knowledge that I'm giving, my time. I really appreciate that. Give me a super chat, buy me a coffee. You appreciate the value that you're getting in here. Us painting together, that means a lot to me. Helps me be able to fund this production, right? And give you information. Help support your favorite artist. And we don't realize how fast time goes by when we waste time. But the crazy part is a lot of us, right, if we don't have a structure in place and we're wasting the time, we could, like, let's just say we start off our day painting, like actually be like, all right, I'm going to do the auction work. And we start doing it at 11 a.m., 12 p.m., or 1 p.m. And our mind won't really give it 100% for that day because we already feel like a piece of us, well, I already wasted the day. So I'll do it again tomorrow. I used to do this so much and lose money. I used to lose money. I used to lose time because I was always trying to catch up on the next day. And then you get in this, it becomes a circle that you're in. It becomes this trap. You're in this, you're in this trap. Nerfy, I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. Please put the likes up, everybody. Well, there's 46 people in here and only 14 likes. Not cool. Not cool. Cost you nothing to give me some likes. That way we can eBay can reward me on the algorithm. I wasted 15 years, but now I'm playing catch up. I feel the same way, but it's never too late. It's never too late to become who we were meant to be. I wasted years of my life too on different things, and sometimes I regret it and I look back on it, but that is what it is. We can't do anything about it. That's regret. You know, at times I'm like, I wish I would have gone back and I wish I could have done I wish I could do what I'm doing right now. But you know, in life, the things that we go through is the things that make us. So we can't go back. There's no point even thinking about it either. That's one of the things about us as humans. We're so down on ourselves and we think about like regret. We're always regretting and regret is just living in the past and you can't go back to the past. So there's no point of thinking about it. There's only forward. The only way out is in. You know what the only time I said this to myself. If you want to make up for the time that you wasted, there's only one time machine, and that's to become successful. That's to make money. 5 thumbs up on Facebook. What does that mean? I don't think that I'm sharing on Facebook. That would be cool if somehow it did get connected to Facebook. 5 thumbs up on Facebook. Don't forget the world is different. Some opportunities were not part of the world 15 years ago. Exactly. And you know what? And that's what I say to myself as well. I'm watching on Facebook. Huh. Like how are you watching on Facebook? Is it on my group or is it in my Facebook group? How is it connected to Facebook? I thought this was only on YouTube. So how is that possible? Let me know how that's working, Chris. Where are you finding this stream at on Facebook? So that way I could try to capitalize on that and I could work on that tonight and figure that part out. Cause I didn't share it to Facebook. So that'd be awesome to hear from you how you're able to watch it on Facebook or work from what feed? From my group, from my art group over there. Oh, sorry, I'm mistaken. I have you on YouTube. Okay, I saw. Okay, I was going to say, regret is a time waster. It's misplaced energy, exactly, because there's nothing you can do about it. But the things also of the past, that's who makes you you now. You were meant to go through that. You were meant to go through that to make you who you are now. That's why it's like there's no point in thinking about it. And if I didn't go through those things in the past, even though they might, you know, some of them might be whatever, they suck or whatever, then you wouldn't have been as knowledgeable of who you are now. Corbellic wouldn't be Corbellic, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to help people and to spread the information and everything that I know now if I didn't go through so many mistakes from eBay alone or so many mistakes of doing art or going through phases where I'm trying to figure it out. And, you know, I had moments where I was broke and I'm trying to figure out a way. I wouldn't be able to do any of that. So a lot of times it's like you have to go through these moments and you don't even realize it until later on. And that's also like God blessing you where you have to go like you don't understand it in the moment, but then it comes out better later on. But also, as you were saying, which is so true, years ago, we didn't have these opportunities. Cause I know, like, for example, I know I didn't have opportunities where it was like nowadays, these kids, the bull is not amused. Hey, I know like these kids nowadays, we're like, they could seem like they're so lazy because they have a whole cell phone, they have a whole library in their phone and free information and AI and all this stuff, and they can't take it to their advantage to like us, we had to figure things out. We didn't have internet. I remember having to walk to the library to find a job or to get online. Remember trying to find a job with the newspaper, you know, like kids don't know anything about that stuff. Let me turn the light on. Like we actually had to hustle just to hustle. We had to hustle just for the opportunity to hustle. Does that make sense? Like we had to hustle just for the opportunity to hustle. We didn't have iPhone. We didn't have none of that stuff. I remember spending hours upon hours in the library researching jobs and opportunities and writing down different notes and newspapers and even getting on the internet then. And yeah, see, I like my cows with attitude. That's what somebody said on here. That's great. Exactly. But yeah, that's how you learn. You make it look easy. It is easy. Anybody could do this. Getting bored fuels creativity. And that right there is the best thing right there, what he just said. And it's so true. We talked about that all the time. Is that if you ever want to make money, if you ever want to really push yourself, get bored. That's the secret. They teach that. Like I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for like personal coaching and courses and different things like that, right? And conferences. And one of the things that they teach in these, and I'm giving it to you for free, and it's so simple, but I talk about it all the time, is that drop your dopamines, meaning that you have to get bored. Once you get bored, then you'll be able to do the mundane, and you'll be able to keep working. Look at our cow right there. That's awesome. You'll be able to keep working by doing the mundane because you're bored and your dopamine levels aren't hijacked. Our dopamine levels are hijacked nowadays because of cell phones, social media, uh, clicking too many things. Put yourself at such a low status in your mind where you don't get addicted to the high rewards. So you're not rewarding yourself a lot, and you will be able to knock out work. You'll be doing the boring stuff. That's why I was saying yesterday in the live video, they're like, how come all of a sudden these criminals, when they go to jail, all of a sudden they're MacGyvers and they figure out how to make a lighter out of a toothpick and a rubber band, and they're able to, and then we always say, how come they couldn't apply these smarts when they were out instead of being criminals? Is because their dopamine levels are so low because they're bored. They don't have nothing else to do. So, put yourself in that mindset. That's why I talk about 90 minutes, being focused in the 90 minutes and not having the cell phone and not being clicking too much and too many things being involved in the world, because they will distract you, but also your dopamine levels will be too high where it'll feel like torture for you just to do the mundane work. Billionaires will teach you that in courses. They will say the real secret to being successful and rich is being comfortable doing the boring, because that's all it is. But kids nowadays, they think that all of a sudden that they're going to be some famous person, or it's going to be glamorous. Like the money is glamorous. What we do every single day is boring. It's boring work. It's fine to say that, but you have to be comfortable with the boring. All right, let's do the next painting. Let's see what it is. Like if I really want to, like if I know I need to focus in, and if I need to make that money, if I need to get things going, I'm locked in. I would, like when I was in Tampa, I would lock in on the studio, and I'm like, no nothing, no nothing. I'm not going to be on the TV. I'm not, because I need to drop the chemical in my brain. I need to drop the dopamine levels so low that the work is the pleasure. replace everything else that you might have or that you think that you're addicted to, replace that with the work. The work is the pleasure. The work is the reward. And it's hard to it's hard to explain. Well, no, it's not even hard to explain, really. It's just hard for some people to grasp it. And the thing that I used to say to myself that helped, and it's so true, and I'll say it to you, is you can't serve two masters. Some people think they can serve two masters, and you can't. About about five, no, about 7 years ago, right? When I was still like a gallery artist, right? At the time, and especially when it was like during COVID, when I used to paint at times, I used to enjoy drinking a glass of wine, right? But then it became a point where it kind of almost became addicting. And I was getting used to, I'm a painter and I'm drinking a glass of wine. And then I had to step back from that and be like, whoa, don't want to get addicted to that where every time I'm painting, I need to feel like I'm drinking a glass of wine or I'm buzzed instead of being focused in the moment, because then that's the dopamine right there, you know. Drinking wine in painters and history, it has a historical history and it's not a good one. But certain things like that, whatever things that you might in your own personal life, whatever it might be, um you need to find the things, because we're human and we have our whatever, we have our vices. We're human. We have our vices, especially in Western culture in America. We have our vices or whatever it is. It could be whatever. It could even be TV or something. Find whatever it is and zero in. Replace that vice for the art, for the business, whatever your business is to create. Put that, replace it. Let's see here. Are you using Blix White? Yep, I am. It covers really well. Yeah, they have the best white and they have the best black. So I use Blix White and black. Are you painting in the LA studio? Yep, I'm in LA right now. Hey, Allo, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a thing. It's especially an artist thing, and it has history to it. And it's crazy because I would use it as a or Allo. So this is too real. I started out a few years ago drinking every time I painted to loosen up. That turned into a full blown problem for me. That's taking years to undo. Yeah, it can, and it was almost like that. And then what's crazy is like it kind of snowballed into the same time when the pandemic happened. And during that time, it was like they closed everything down but the alcohol. You know, they closed everything down but the alcohol stores or buying. You know, so a lot of people at that time were locked in and they were drinking. And I would always feel in my mind it became a problem where it wasn't a problem, but I noticed it could be a problem because I was starting to associate painting and being creative with having a glass of wine. And it was like going hand in hand. And I would use it as an excuse of like, oh, I'm going to work or I need to loosen up. I need it to be creative. So imagine how problematic that is, where it's like the only way that I felt creative or I'm bold enough to make choices, because as artists, we make choices, right? And or you need to make bold choices. So in order for me to make a bold choice, I felt like I needed I needed to be buzzed or that feeling of wine. And then it becomes problematic because, you know, it's just like anything else. And artists fall into it all the time. It's just a known thing, but some people don't talk about it. No, I know. Oh, okay. I've seen he said not just artists, I've seen musicians, etc. think they have to take something to be this exactly. And it's sad. It is be, you know, I am high on life. That's amazing. That's exactly how I feel. Life is too beautiful. And then once you do that, then you know you could just naturally do it without any kind of vice or any kind of you don't need any kind of crutch. The beauty is already there. You're already so that's the thing that helped me. It was like you're already these things are already naturally inside of us. You're thinking that you need these things as to crutch or confidence, but it's not. And you could just replace that with work because that's just dopamines. So, and then you get more work done. You get more work done. But also the great thing too is you replace it with exercise. Make sure you take a walk. Make sure that you, if you're a man, lift some weights. Do some calisthenics. Those are natural, those are natural boosters right there. I exercise before I work, before I paint. So that way it gives me a boost in my creativity, but also in my mind, my serotonin and my adrenaline, and it helps me on a higher frequency of seeing what I need to accomplish. So I say all that to go back to what I was saying is that I always remind myself and I say, because some people think that you could be a functional whatever, I'm a functional drinker, functional whatever. And you're like, that's fine. I could still do the things that I'm supposed to do or whatever. But the real secret is don't even dabble in it because you can't serve two masters. It's either the art or it's either your business or it's either whatever your vice is. Which one are you going to select? You can't serve two masters. Don't even try. That's awesome, Rachel. I'm in the best shape. She's in the best shape of her life. Yep, exercise is great. The cat is still there. We're still working. Don't worry. I put on the TV. It looks awesome. Thank you. You're on the big screen now. Woo. We're on the big screen now. All right. So those are systems right there to put in place. Make sure that you have a system where it's like, I'm going to work out before I go to work. I'm going to just like I always say, it's just like pilots or surgeons, right? Even though they've done so many hours, of surgery, of of flying, what do they still always have to do? They still have checklist because your brain will play tricks on you. And even the most important things in high stressful situations, you'll forget something. That's why when they get into the cockpit, they're like, all right, air pressure, check. Um, whatever else they say. And then the surgeons are always like, okay, scalpel check, this check before they do surgery. Because in situations, even though you've done it so many times, you'll forget something. Like even now, for example, this is like we just started doing live streaming, but now I have checklists that I'm going through and I'm creating myself now of things to go over before I go live. So that way there's no more technical issues or different things that you learn from. And you can only learn these things after you go through it. That's why I always try to tell people work fast and figure out what your checklist is going to be. You can only find out what your checklist is going to be from your data after working fast. You said you got 5 done so far? I think I'm at the same number. I think I'm only at 5. Diet, exercise, and the word of God. That's the truth right there. And it's only the power of God. Like when I was in the part of being like, oh, I'm going to drink the wine, right? And I'm in that mode years ago. I always say that it was the power of God. Thank God that it didn't get anything to be addicting or worse, where I could have always felt like I needed to do that. And I'm like, God save me from that type of that's horrible. Thank God Almighty. I always think back on that. I'm so thankful to God. So thankful. Every day. That's the real blessing. That's how you get your blessings as well. We were talking about this yesterday, and I'm really big on gratitude. That's why they talk about being grateful. Give thanks. Giving thanks is the blessing. That's the real secret. That's the secret that secret societies don't even talk about. They say secret societies know the real prayer. The real prayer is giving gratitude of your day, giving gratitude for the things that you already have. That way it already puts you in the mindset of having instead of the mindset that you don't have. All right, let me put my signature on this. That's the truth. Yes, thankfulness is more powerful than any magic. It's so true. You have to be thankful. Look at this. Huh? Isn't that fun? Isn't that beautiful? There's our cat right there. Look, if I can do it, you can do it. Matter of fact, we're doing it together right now. Let me grab some more parchment paper. Here we go. Plenty of this stuff. Sometimes I get so tired of seeing parchment paper everywhere in the studio. I'm pretty sure you know that feeling. All right. We're back. Let's see what the next one's going to be. beautiful, beautiful flowers. Check this out. So, you know how you have a moment in your life where you got a cold or you got a flu or you're sick or something happened, right? God forbid. And you say to yourself, Lord, only if I can get done with this wicked cold or this wicked cough or this wicked whatever that you're going through at that moment, I swear that I'm going to work so hard in my eBay career. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to take care of this body that you gave me, Lord. Just help me get over this sickness. Just help me be healthy. And you never realize you never realize how blessed you are until you have a sickness, right? And then what do we do when we're healthy? What do most people do? They don't even honor the blessing that God has already gave you. Some people pray for things, and I'm always in my mind, I'm like, but God has already given it to you because you have two arms, you have two legs, and you have a brain, most importantly. No matter what your situation is, you're rich, you're poor, anything like that. If you have your wits with you, then God has already blessed you because there's people out there who don't have arms, legs, and there's people out there who don't even have your wits. As long as you have your a functioning brain, you can always figure out a way. And you're healthy, your family's healthy. And then you think about things like that. So I'm always thinking of things like that. Be grateful for what you have now. My sinking cable tip broke off about an hour ago. I'm on a floral hellhole. It's the only thing that I can freehand. Still feel blessed. Yes, you are. Funny, I'm doing this flower right now, so let's see how this one turns out. All right, we got 40 people in here. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those likes up so that way it spreads to the algorithm. If you're not part of the elite community, the link is in there so you can join as well. You can learn how you can do this yourself. Everything is set up for you. Community's there to help you. Any art questions that you got, how we do this on eBay. The art is already inside of you. So you can just see right now, like even with this flower, I'm just sketching it out and building up the background black so that way I could build the layer on top of it later. Look at that. We'll be done with this before you know it. Flowers, there's really no right or wrong. I used to make some ugly flowers. I mean, I don't want to say to myself, I still make ugly flowers because it is what it is. Like some people will make beautiful flowers, like where they have the whole flower part down pat, how they can make it look like a rose and they could do all the fancy stuff. I really can't do all of that. I told you I didn't go to art school, but I can. There's nothing wrong. There's no wrong with flowers because you can abstract it. It doesn't always have to be perfect, like a perfect garden. Also, yesterday, when we were talking about systems in place, we were saying that you can to have your systems in place, also have whatever your target goal is going to be. So for me, for example, one of my cheat codes that I would always say to myself when I was so frustrated of how I'm frustrated at myself for not being able to crank out the numbers that I want. I'm not even frustrated at the art itself or even the art market or any of that stuff. What I'm frustrated in is that for some reason I can't get out of my head and work faster. For some reason I cannot, I don't know what my problem is. I just can't create as fast as I want, or I'm so conscious about what I need to be doing. For some reason I can't. I know that I could push the number, but how come I'm not doing it? Like it's torture or something. And I would say to myself, then fine. Tomorrow in the studio, create 100 paintings. We're going to do 100 paintings. I don't care. I don't care if I got to bleed for it. I don't care what happens. I don't care if it's the ugliest art. I'm just going to say to myself, fine. Tomorrow, I'm making ugly art. I don't care if it's ugly or whatever. I'm just showing up and I'm going to create 100 paintings. And I was watching the wrong live. Yeah, that might have been my mistake because I had technical difficulties on the last one, and I had to restart a new one. But I said to myself that I'm going to do 100 paintings. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do 100 paintings. Now, the idea, of course, is like it doesn't matter if you hit that goal or not. The point of it is that you're at least aiming higher than anything. Set your goals high. That's a target. Then when you set your goals high, you'll surprise yourself and you'll be like, whoa, like the things that I was capable of doing and that I try to instill in everybody in the community to do is things that I never thought that I was capable of doing. I never thought that I would be able to paint more than 20 paintings, 30 paintings. I never thought like I used to think that was like an impossible task until you push yourself where you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to do 100 of them. And then you realize, just try to actually do it. Don't say to yourself, "Oh, that's a ridiculous thing." That's ridiculous. Who am I to do that? That's ridiculous. Actually put it in your mind, mentally think about it. And then no, Maria, I'm still good here. The video's still good. Hey, what's going on, Dave? But put it in your mind that you're going to do that. Try to visualize it and see what you come up with. And you'll surprise yourself. Then when you surprise yourself, you'll feel so good about yourself. I remember I would get adrenaline rushes like when I see that, and I used to get excited off of the paint when I would see what I'm capable of. Once I see that I'm actually capable of pushing the numbers, I get so excited because then I know that I can make a living from it, that everything is going to be okay. Instead of me thinking to myself that it's not going to be okay and that I can't push the numbers. And for some reason, I'm not talented enough. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. Instead of me just thinking I'm gonna push myself to do 100. I don't know if they're gonna be ugly or whatever. I don't care. I can't control that. But I'm just gonna show up tomorrow. I'm gonna do 100 paintings. Like I said, it doesn't matter if I do actually 100 paintings. On those days looking back, then it was like, all right, maybe I actually only did 60 that day, right? Or something like that. Like, okay, I only did 60. But think about it. 60, when you put yourself in the mindset that you're going to do 100, 60 is better than the day before where you didn't even think that you were able to do 30. And then you get excited that about the possibilities of what you can do because now you know that you can do it, and you also know that you're still alive. You didn't die. You didn't spontaneously combust. You know, you're still here. Your body didn't go through some torture. You didn't bleed out of your nose. And you're like, why am I making things so difficult when we're just making art? We make things so difficult because we still have the part in us that want to be accepted into the beauty of it, where it's like the ego gets involved and you're scared to trust the process. It has to be beautiful. That's where it was like we're comparing something. I've been having to back the vid up occasionally and it works itself out. I love using Pinterest as for ideas. That's what I used as well too. Even before I started using AI for my references, I would live off of Pinterest. Even now, I'll still use Pinterest from time to time, especially when it comes to pop art or cartoon art or different things like that. I'll use Pinterest for ideas, and that works for me. That's fine. How do you keep the color so vibrant? I don't know. I think it's just the paint that I use, and I make sure that I don't muddy it up. I try not to mix it too much so I don't muddy it up. But I don't know what I'm doing. You could do it too. Just make sure that you don't muddy the paint up. Make sure it's not too mixed up to each other. I used to get so down on myself about what I'm producing or the number count because then I knew it was about volume. But it was weird because when I started off, I was just like a lot of other people where I'm thinking that, you know what? I used to be so arrogant and be like, you know what? It's not about volume. They just need to see Corbellic create Corbellic type Mona Lisas. I'm gonna make sure that they know I'm creating these beautiful paintings, and then they have no choice to buy it. I'm thinking that as long as I create beautiful stuff of what I think is beautiful, or in the time that the market is all of a sudden going to be able to, all of a sudden they're going to have $1 million in their pocketbook. You can't control when the market is going to have money in their pocket or when they're not on a certain painting. You might have created a Mona Lisa, but just how it was in the market at that time, they didn't have the money in their pocket to give you the price point of what you think. So the only thing that you can work off of all the time is the volume. Because with that, with the lottery ticket, you can hit the market point of where somebody who does have it. It's the same thing with like even the stock market or any market, crypto market, stock market. There's times in the market where you might have a great buying price, selling price, but the market is over leveraged and they don't have liquidity in their pocket of the cash flow to actually buy it at that point. And you can't be like, well, that stock or that crypto is a bad one. It's just the timing of the market. And you can't predict that besides volume. Damn, that was a bar right there. That was some knowledge right there. If you followed that one right there was a good one to break down. All right, I'm done with this flower. Spending too much time. It's just a flower. That's how you need to think about art, how I just broke it down right there, and you'll be fine. Look at that. Hey, Core, what do you think about the changes to eBay's ad campaign? What do you mean? I don't think anything about it because that's the cost of doing business. There's nothing. I mean, like someone asked this question recently in our Q&A, in our weekly calls, and I said they always change up their algorithm, they change up their ad stuff, but it's not going to have too much of an effect for us because in our category, our profit margin is higher, and it's what are we going to do? Like, even what my opinion might be, what am I going to say? Don't sell on eBay. That's the cost to pay the boss. And that the cost to pay the boss is better than doing the gallery. I should be asking you what you think about it, and then whatever you think about it, work harder. Beat them at their game then. I mean, it doesn't matter what I think or what am I supposed to, like, that's any business. What are we supposed to do? The thing about how it is with eBay too is like, okay, you already invested in the business. What are you going to do? Go back to the galleries? The galleries are closed. Only thing we do, we beat them at their game by working in volume. And do you glaze when you're done with the paintings? No, I don't. So that's that. That's that with this painting. I'm done. Let me put my signature on it. It's beautiful. That's the cost to pay the boss. There's nothing we can do about it. Look at that. Huh? We just had fun on this one. I pretty much freestyled it. I mean, yeah, I worked off the projector, but I always freestyle with colors. I mean, when it comes to flowers, like I tell you, flowers, they always do well. I could do these blindfold, and you can too. So don't put too much mind and thought into it. It always works out. It's beautiful, isn't it? Would it make a difference if I do many fast ones and a few detail paintings? You can. I mean, if you have the time to do it, but your fast ones will sell just as much as the detail one. And then sometimes people get discouraged because they spent time doing a detail one, and then it doesn't sell on the market of what you think. And then you do a sloppy one, and the sloppy one sells more than what the detail one does. You can't predict that. It's up to you though. I mean, art is art. They're all the same to me. Like, you'll get to a point where with volume and you doing art, where it's all the same, and you'll apply the principles of what you've learned in working fast onto the ones that's gallery art too. Gallery artists work fast. Okay, not all of them. There are some that usually they do it on Instagram where they're making it seem like they're doing whatever. But those are different type of artists who are doing more portrait stuff, anyways. But the ones who are like high selling art, those people are on a high frequency volume game where they're working it as well. So gallery takes 30, 40, or 50% of the sell as well. Exactly. And that's even higher. And you don't even have control of who the collector is, or the black book of the collector. You don't have a relationship. Yeah, I built relationships off of eBay. My biggest contracts, my biggest contracts that I've ever received is off of eBay. What do you think about developing your own style as an artist? What? See, that's very subjective because what is your own style? That's you trying to recreate the wheel. You're eventually going to have your own style as an artist by you just showing up to work. Like me, for example, since I'm biased and I create my own art, I don't know the difference between Corbellic or whatever. But a lot of people who view my art, a lot of members are like, oh, you could tell, even though you paint different stuff, you have a Corbellic style. Corbellic or whatever your style is will eventually come out. Your signature is more of a gallery base. So anytime you see gallery artists, they're always going off the same type of thing that they're known for. And they usually only are able to find that thing by doing a happy mistake. Collector happened to like it. The gallery wants you to keep producing uh, bubbles. Bubbles. Your artwork is known for creating bubbles. They want you to create paintings with 1,000 different bubbles, and you're known for that. But you didn't fall into that. So it's like you can't recreate the wheel because whatever your style is, or my style, or whatever, there's somebody in the past who's already done it. There's 8 billion people. There's somebody who's already done it. It's just like caveman drawing. If you're gonna if you're gonna rack your mind about how to be original or your style, then you're always going to you're gonna be in a pain. You're gonna be in a world of pain because you're thinking too much about the art instead of you just creating off of the preference. Do you what feels comfortable, and then yeah, hope that makes sense. Developing your own style. Like there's I don't believe in that. Okay, I admit my ego was involved. I'm going to make some ugly paintings. Yeah, just say that to yourself. Say that you're going to make ugly paintings and then you'll be able to crack out paintings. We get so much into our mind. Here, let me take a quick water break, okay? Then I'll be right back. Mm. Water break. Water is important. Mm. Stay hydrated. Take care of your body as an artist. It's so important. Take care of your body as a human, but especially as an artist. All right, let's see what we have here. Style tends to develop as you go. Exactly. You may not see your style, but others will notice. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you for saying that. That's what I'm trying to articulate. That styles, yeah, it'll develop as you go. It's just like anything else that you do. Like it's just how you walk. You don't notice that you have a particular walk, but everybody else notices your walk. You don't notice about anything else that you do, but it becomes you because you do so much of it, and you're not going to notice it. Me, for example, I don't notice a Corbellic style, but everybody says when they see my paintings, they see a Corbellic style no matter what I paint. And that's cool, you know? All right. How do you keep the colors vibrant? I don't know. I just paint. All right, now let's get into this. One of the key things that I try to say to myself when I'm doing when I'm painting or whatever is I just try not to muddy the colors and have them touching too much. But I don't even know if that explains it, you know? Like I said, I it's hard for me to explain art because I'm not an art teacher and this isn't an art class because the things that we are all good at, we're all different and we're all good at different things. However, you create art, I can't create art like you, and you can't create art like me. Or you can use a lot of my references. This doesn't belong to us, you know? I mean, it's nothing that I really think to myself instead of just like you see how quick I'm working with the colors. I just pick up a color and I just go, whatever. But I try not to, I guess, have them touch too much. And that works for me. All right, let me dry this off. You know, when it comes to colors, I think about what Picasso said. He says, if I don't have blue, then I use red. If I don't have red, then I use blue. Sometimes I just pick a color on here, whatever. If I don't have a certain color, or if I'm thin on a certain color, I'll just choose a different color. There's no right or wrong when it comes to the color because what I always try to push and what I've had pushed from the beginning of doing content on here is that we're all creators. The art is already inside of us. There is no right or wrong. The God is already in the art. The closest that you can be to God is being an artist because you will see the miracle of what God has already placed in there. I say as a joke to myself that, oh, I'm not an artist. The only reason I say that is because I don't know what I'm doing. And God shows me the miracle where the stuff is already there. So, like that last painting that we did of the flower, right? And I look at it, I don't know how to paint flowers. How did I do that beautiful flower? I don't even know how I did that. It's the miracle of God that He already put there. Only thing I have to do is show up. That's why they say success is 90% of showing up. It's not because other people are lazy, they didn't show up to the appointment. I used to think like that when I was younger. But really, what it means is that the success is already there, the work is already there. Anything that you want in your life is already there for you. It's just about you showing up. All right, come on, y'all. We're over here dropping some great knowledge on here, some great gems. Leave me some super chats and some likes. Let me know that you appreciate this information that I'm giving. Or I'm about to put this microphone on mute. I'm about to put it on mute. You're not even gonna hear me. I'm just gonna be painting. It's gonna be one of those boring streams. You don't hear nothing. No information. Only people hear this information is they're gonna be in the elite community. Let's see here. It says that's so true. I often wonder myself, I don't know how I done it. Think I got help. Exactly. We all do. That's the beauty of it. Like, how did I do that? That's why it's like at times, like there's so many different things, right, that we do. and we're so self-conscious about it or how to do things, or like the brain is really trying to trick you out of thinking that of your success, but it's already there. And we get so overwhelmed, or the confidence isn't there. But after a while, when you develop more of it, you just know that it's going to work out because the beauty's already there. Like there's so many times, me for example, where even though I've done this so many times, I painted so many paintings, I still have I'm still human where I have to put that part of my mind in check and not listen to it, where it's like, you can't do this, or it's ugly. People are gonna laugh at you. But then when I know those thoughts come in my head, I just know that I'm doing something correct. And it's just a reminder that I'm making progress and not to slow down, because it wants you to slow down. It wants you to go back to the old thought of yourself where you didn't believe in yourself. And we're not going to give that energy back again. We're not doing it. We're not going back. I've been following and painting along a little bit slower than you, but I'm getting there. That's awesome. See, we're in this together. It's like automatic mode. I love to see what comes out of it and not so planned. Yeah, exactly. The more that you plan, the more that it's like, and the buyer knows when it's planned too much. It looks like it. You like you want to have too much control of it. I see that all the time in these people where, you know me, or I say we're all creative, but I see in these people who do it for a trend, or they do it for approval from their peers instead of believing in it. And you can tell they're trying to control it, and they're just doing instead of being confident to make ugly art. I used to make portraits of Hollywood actresses and different people. And then what I would do, I hated how pretty they looked. So what I would do is I would what I would do is that I would abstract the face, and I would mess the face up. I would put certain circles around the eyes. I would do certain because that's what's cool. That's what's different. Everybody's seen a perfect picture of of a actor or actress or whoever it is, but it's different for you. It's more bold and brave of you to take a picture of like Elizabeth Taylor, and then do something of your liking of abstract to her, compared to everybody seeing a perfect painting of that. Like, you could just buy that. You could buy a printout of that. I know certain artists, right? For example, where they're technically great when it comes to like sketching, painting, or drawings, right? Like, they can do the detail of the face, and they can really do the shadows and the etching and all of that stuff. But it's just basically the same as like somebody printing it out on the paper. Like, you could just print that out. Why would I pay an artist to do that when I could print it out? How about where's the creative part at that makes it something different that I haven't seen before? I let I let the canvas speak to me, to my hands go where it needs to. It's already there. I'm just unplanned. I've noticed that I've had a hand slip and it looks better than when I had it planned. Exactly. Well, Bob Ross called that the happy mistakes. And I find that as well. So I never try to correct anything, because the genius lies in the things that you don't plan. That's why I love doing what I do, because there's no right or wrong. There's just been too many situations in my life where I've had things where it could be wrong. Like if you go to your job, your manager or the director could always say that there's something wrong or you've done something wrong. This is the only job that I had. I could go into the office and there's nobody who could tell me that I'm doing something wrong. There's nobody who could tell me, "Oh, you didn't do that cloud right. You didn't do that one shade right. You didn't do that one thing right." And I laugh at it, but also in my mind, I'm passionate about it because it's like you don't know the history of where I've been in my work, where I'm passionate that you can't come to my job and tell me what's right or wrong in this, because God was with me when I created this. And you, on the other hand, you're just a human. Who are you? I don't even know who you are. You're a stranger. You don't have to like it. You're probably like you're not buying it, but there's somebody out there who worked hard for their money. They went to a job or they made the money, they made the income, and then they decided with their income and with their money that they're going to purchase your art with their money. I didn't You don't put a gun to their head and make them like your art. Someone's going to love it. There's no right or wrong of what I'm doing. And the more wrong is the better. Because they're like, wow, at least you were bold enough to make that decision on whatever the decision is. There's just too many things in life where they want you to be right all the time, and there's no such thing as right. Nobody has it together. Nobody, we don't make it out of here alive. Even the people who pretend that they have it together, they don't have it together and they don't know. That's the real secret too. When studying successful people, everybody has the impression syndrome, impersonation syndrome. They feel like someone's going to find out that I'm a fraud. Someone's going to find out that I don't know what I'm doing. We all have that feeling. I used to have that feeling as well. There's been years when I was working off the projector like I'm doing now, and I didn't want to tell people, oh, I work off of a projector. They're going to find out that I'm a fraud, and then I'm going to get exposed. I'm not a real artist, and everything's going to come crumbling down. And that's not true. We're so in our head about dumb stuff. We're like our worst enemy in our mind about things that aren't even real. All right, look at that. We're done right there. Let me put my signature on it. Look at that. Right? Look at that. Look at that. All right. We're having fun here. We're painting whatever we want to do. Let's see here. I saw an established artist on my Facebook feed complain that she discovered one of her favorite artists was using a projector. It made me laugh because she doesn't even know how deep an ego she is. Exactly. And then on a situation like that, I might even have shared her the link to where Leonardo da Vinci used the obscure or the veneer use or Vermeer, is it Vermeer? Yeah, where he used the projector as well, but just a different version where they use the mirror. There's always shortcuts in being an artist, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, no, how dare you? You didn't spend 100 hours doing it from your mind. You didn't close your eyes and then draw out the shadows inside of your brain, and then it was wrong, and then you erased it, and then you made sure that it was perfect 106 times until that one image was perfect. That's dumb. What's the point in that? Why do I have to do that? Oh, how dare Banksy use stencils? And you think these people care when they make millions of dollars and you're broke? Like, why would I listen to a broke person? That's the stuff that you need to say to yourself too. I'm getting the money. Why don't I listen to a broke person? I don't. I don't even know who you are. You could be a bot. The same frequency. The internet is so fake. It's like the same frequency that's out there. Just don't pay any attention to it. Camera obscure. Exactly. He used the camera obscure. Projector is just a quicker step than the grid. Exactly, it's the same thing. And you know what? They're just mad because really maybe they're not the real artists. We're the real artists because I never talk about doing replicas. I'm just saying using the proportion. We're using the proportion, and we're doing our own colors, and we're being kids off of it. It's just a confidence tool. Believe me, I get the same thing too. Like if I have some things on Facebook and I put up a couple things for the community, there's people in there, strangers in there too. He's not a real artist. He takes references and he paints it the reference and then he steals and he's a hack. There was someone who actually wrote this. I kid you not. They wrote on there, they said, I'd rather be broke than do what that Corbellic does. I no, he said, I'd rather be starving under a bridge and broke than do what Corbellic does. Like these people have mental issues. Who thinks like that? Why would you think like that? Like, why is it even that deep? Like, you don't even know me. Why are you that? These people are like really passionate to be like, these are the gatekeepers. These are the weirdos. You rather be broke? What does that even mean? I would never say that. I'd rather be broke. Like your pride and ego is that attack. Like, who are you? Are you part of the secret society of the art world? Like, what is that? Yes, it's always broke people who talk like that. So remember this: when it comes to haters or negative people, they always talk up. They never talk down. Successful people never talk down to people who are below them. They never have any kind of criticism or judgment to people who are beneath them. It's always people who are beneath you that talk up, you know? So when they're down, they always want to talk up. Never respond, never pay it no mind, never give it no likes, any of that stuff. Kill them off with nothing, no attention. You're not going to get no attention from Corbellic. That's probably what you want. And the crazy part is some of these people might even actually be fans. You have fans out there who would try to just want attention, so they'll say things. Brenda says, did we lose sound? Are you guys able to hear me? Are you able to hear me, Brenda, or is everybody else able to hear me? Let me know. Okay, all good. I'd rather be broke than do what they do. I'd rather spend 100 hours in the studio where I don't know if anyone's going to buy the artwork. or anything. And then you know what happens? You get stuck with the artwork. You get stuck with the artwork that nobody's going to buy. Nobody cares because you didn't put volume out there. You got one Mona Lisa. Nobody cares about the Mona Lisa. I used to be in that traditional mindset too. And I used to make a bunch of beautiful Mona Lisas. And you know what? I was broke. No one cared. They cared on Instagram where I got a blue check mark and I got 10,000 followers and I got all this impressions and all these people clicking on it. But all of those people, they're like high school where they don't have the money. And then this is the crazy part is like, I used to do co-assignment where I used to front certain paintings for people in LA so they could put it in their restaurant or they could put it in their big studio. And I used to do it on consignment where they get just like they're just having it because they would always sell the idea. Ooh, I get a lot of celebrities that come through here. I get a lot of important people that come through there, which they did, and these people are gonna buy it. No, they don't. And then and then if you ever reached out, so sometimes I'd reach out to these people because on online and their world they always make it seem like they're big people and they drive this car and they're doing this whatever. Then when I would finally reach out to these people because I've done them enough favors and I'd be like, you know, for them to buy the painting at a deal or to buy certain paintings, guess what? This is when you're in art, when you make art and you're in this world, the underbelly world of the gallery and all that, you actually find out who are the real people and who aren't. You actually find out who's actually broke and who aren't. Most of these people are broke. Most of these people don't have it, but they front online like they have it and they're all cool and they know all these celebrities, but they're broke and they don't have it and they have to expose themselves. They don't even have it. So here you're doing these favors, you're making these beautiful art pieces that, ooh, hopefully one day this oil tycoon's gonna come by, and then it doesn't work like that, and you're wasting your time. Who has time for that? I don't have time for that. Everyone is programmed. It's the program that is talking. Yep. They've never been broke. I'm open to any improvement. Have you ever burnt the canvas with the heat gun? Yeah, it burns a little bit on the back, with just a little smudge, but nothing serious. Nothing that I can see on the front end. It's fine. It's all good. Good question though. I'll know if I can smell it. I'm like, that smells like canvas on the back's burning. It's never like a burn through though. Never like it's never nothing that severe, but it'll be like a little bit of a. I'll know when I look at the back and it'd be like there's an area that's a little tan. And maybe that's a good point too. Someone wrote on here. They said they've never been broke. I don't know. Maybe that's a good point because I've been broke before. You know what? That's actually a good point. They've never been broke. I'm open to any improvement. Maybe that is true because I've been broke before. And if you've been broke before, that mindset just, I'll just know that I'll do anything, not anything. You get what I'm saying? Like as far as paint, and I'll make sure that I won't be in that situation again. I won't put myself in that situation again of being broke and I'm waiting for a sale to come out of the sky and magically collectors will call my they'll call my phone and I'll send them an email list and all of that. No, 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 no. That's so outdated. No one's doing that. I'm forcing the sale through eBay where the buyers are already at. I'm not waiting around for a magical elixir of some sale. It's not happening. And then if you do that, you're just going to be so stressed out. I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling of waiting for a paycheck to come that might not even come. Because then what happens is my frequency waiting for the paycheck to come and being stressed out like that is going to make sure it doesn't happen because I'm coming from a frequency of not having. So what's going to happen is I'm going to generate more of that frequency. I'm going to gravitate more of not having and not getting, and it's going to keep coming that way. Instead of me having the mindset of having and selling and getting over and getting through with the art, I bring on more clients. I bring on more art that way. Like I was saying, my biggest contracts have been through eBay. It hasn't been through the the Instagram people with the fancy lifestyle things and all that and all the LA stuff. It wasn't through any of that. Are y'all still in the chats? Y'all falling asleep or what? Y'all on sleepy time? Y'all working? Where y'all at? Working, painting. Okay. Just making sure. But so I can always tell those type of stories for sure. And a lot of artists go through that where it's like things are prettier. They rather have the title and I'd rather have the title and be broke than have the money and use the projector or sell on eBay. I would never do that. These people are they think that 2018 is coming back. They think 2017 is coming back. Those days aren't coming back. I'm about to go on an online meeting at 1 p.m. Getting inspired from you in the chat. I appreciate that. About to run to the post office to ship out a commission. That's awesome. How big was the commission? All of my major commissions got it from eBay. Telling you the worst collectors that I have or that I've had is from Instagram. The worst. In eBay, at least you know that they actually have the money and they wanna work with you. Instagram, you got people in there who they talk a big game, but they're actually broke. And they also kind of don't want to admit that they're broke, kind of thing, but they are. And then they get weird too, where then they go missing, don't want to really support you no more. Cause then it's like, they kind of have to admit that they're broke. They don't want to give you no more free likes. Some people go, well, in order for you to get into a gallery, you got to build up your portfolio on Instagram. You got to build your portfolio up there, and then you'll get known. Then a gallery would come for you. Galleries are all closing their doors, and if they do find you, how many years? How many years How many years are you talking about that you're going to have to take for you to make gallery type fine art that's all the good stuff that's going to fit on your portfolio? Because you're not going to be showing the ugly stuff. That's the thing too about Instagram is like being an artist, we make more ugly stuff than we make or what we think is ugly. We only show the good side of everything. Just like Instagram, we only show the good, the good art. Every day, we're just so talented where we're making Mona Lisas every day, every hour, we're just naturally doing it. No, we're not. It's about experimenting. It's about doing studies and finding. The only way that I could find that I could do great studies and find out what works and get better is by keep painting. Likes don't pay the bills. Exactly. Dang, dude, you're still at it. Shipping isn't that bad, homie. No, shipping's not bad. What do you mean shipping's not bad? Shipping is not that bad in the US. Can't swear to anything else. Yeah, shipping. Yeah, shipping domestically, it's not bad at all. I mean, I've done over 10,000 boxes, probably more. Even international is not bad at all when it comes to eBay because eBay takes care of the international for me. I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to figure out how to ship to China and how to ship to Switzerland and all that. I don't have to figure out international fees and all that. All of that stuff in the customs is taken care for me. Like, there's our duck right there. All right, let's get on to the next one. I use the same paint as you, but when I paint black lines, I seem to have to refill the brush more often than you. Any tips? No. If you use the same paint, the Blick, the Blick's Blick paint, then you're fine. One artist uglies is another masterpiece. Exactly. I love your duck. I appreciate that. Any unique identifiers that say this was made by Corbellic? No, just my signature that says Corbellic. That's what I always think of too. I'm like, one person's ugly painting is another's, or what do they always say? One person's trash is another person's treasure. There's so many people on earth with different types of taste that they'll all love it. And then it's going to get to a point with you. People don't understand this, but it's going to get to a point with you where do you dilute your black with water? Heck no. Why would I do that? That's crazy. I keep my black black. I want my black black. I want a strong black so that way I don't have to do anything crazy like that. Just make sure that you're using the right blick paint. This is the one I get. Mars black, the regular blick. Don't get the student one. If you're getting the student one, then that might be thinner. Make sure it's the blick economy acrylic polymer, the standard one. This. Keep telling myself that. Yeah, that's all it is. Is that someone's going to love it. They always do. You could Liquitex. No, Liquitex black is bad. Yeah, Liquitex black. I like Liquitex for their bright colors, but I don't like Liquitex for their black. Their black sucks. I don't know why either. Liquitex has decent white, but when it comes to their black is crap. Nah, go with the Blicks. I was about to say, don't you dare get on my live talking bad about Blicks black paint. It saved my life. Don't you dare talk about you got to load it up twice. Huh. Get out of here. But yeah, no. If you're talking about the Liquitex, if you're talking about the Liquitex black, then yeah, that's bad stuff. Don't know why either. Don't know why. All right, there we go. Look, real rough, real blotchy, just straight into it. Yeah, Liquitex, I don't understand what their black sucks. The best black, I try to tell people the best black is the Blix, and Blix has great white too, very strong. I forget how the golden black is because I haven't used it in so long. I'm so glad that I stepped away from that. There was times where like in my because this was during that's another thing that sucked about when I was in my gallery days and I'm making these great art pieces that are large. During that time, a lot of the paint that I'm using was the golden paint. So when I'm using the golden paint here, that stuff's expensive. And people didn't realize I'm spending this money on this expensive paint and doing this work, and then they don't want to buy it or they want to give me all these free likes and acting like we friends. And then you know what's crazy? This is the crazy part. It's like here, all these people who was giving you all these free likes and they were pretending like you were a superstar on Instagram 6, 7 years ago, and you were blowing up and they give you all the free likes and all this stuff. When I got off of Instagram and then you go dark all of a sudden, and if you ever come back, these people they've been stopped unfollowing you. They don't even follow you no more. They don't even like you. Who cares? They don't care. So that's why I try to say, like, don't get into your mind about art because at the end of the day, people who you think that they love your work or they're giving you love and all this other stuff, free likes, they don't give a damn about you. Only person who cares about you and your family is you. You need to take care of yourself, produce the artwork, and show up. Blix Black, say that 10 times fast. No way. Very pricey. Yeah, it's expensive. So it's like I told you, I haven't used social media all these years when I sold art on eBay. And I got out of it because it was kind of like high school. I got tired of the free likes crowd where it's like I'm producing stuff, but you aren't really buying it. And that's fine. I mean, I can't like I said, you can't force the market to be what it is, and you can't force people to have money, right? So I just got out of it. But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself that there's for a few years in my mind, I'm thinking that people are still like thinking, "Where's Corbellic? Where's Corbellic?" Like people are checking on you, and that's you with your ego involved, thinking that people are checking on you or people care, and they don't. People go on about their lives. People ain't checking for you. People aren't checking for you and thinking like a lot of times that we could be so much more successful in our lives, but we're always thinking that people are checking for us and looking for us and oh, what are they doing? And it's not even like that at all. And then by the time that you're older, you realize that you could have just gone on with your life and who did whatever anyways, who cares? Because nobody was even checking for you. Yeah, you're golden bougie now. I used to say the same thing. You're golden bougie now because you don't paint enough. But once you really, really start painting enough like that, that stuff adds up. There's no point of like spending all that money for paint that's the same. Once you start painting a lot, and you start looking at your price points and your margins, it just doesn't make sense. I used to paint with golden for years, but I paint too much. And I like the flow of this paint even better. And then also the customers, you think your customers know, ooh, that right there is paint. That one right there, that's golden. That one, that's lit. They don't know. Yeah, you said my Facebook got disabled without warning. I haven't had it in 2 years. Much better mental wise. Yeah, Facebook is dead. Facebook is like MySpace. Only reason Facebook is still around is because of the thing that pays Facebook bills is Instagram, but also their meta ads because people still run meta ads on there. So that's what pays their bills. That's why it's still around. But if not, it would just be like MySpace. It would be dead. The images that you're projecting, are they made digitally first or how does it work? Yes and no. It's very simple. I have it all broken down. Join the eBay art community. The link is in the description, and you can see how we're able to populate these images. Very simple. Very simple. Nothing difficult at all. I have a bunch of videos breaking down how we do this. Yeah, I never get on Facebook. That's just awful. Yeah, it's AI. There's even some people though who was like in the even some people who write in the comments or on some of the posts and they go, I would never use AI to get my references of art. That is the devil. There's people who actually say stuff like that. I would rather be broke than use that AI as a reference that Corbellic is doing. How dare him? That's not a real artist. A real artist he stays miserable in the dark alone, figuring out references by himself, creating them by hand. Then you're a real artist. Darn you, Corbellic. How dare you? How dare you show other artists as well to do it this way? You're just ruining the art community. No, I get it. So I have a lesson in there inside the community where it could show you how to get exactly what you're looking for. Exactly what you're looking for. So you don't have to try to find the prompts. Because that's the thing that sucks about AI is you have to try to find the prompts. How do I like you can see a certain art that you like or a certain reference that you like. And then the thing that always bothered me is like, okay, I know I like this art style. I know I like that, but how do I get AI to reproduce that for me? I want that style. I want that. How do I do that? I know how you could do that. I have a video on there of how you could do it. It's very fun. It's very simple. So just check it out. Join the eBay art community. Even Milan Art shows how to use AI exactly. Is it free AI or pay AI? It's both. Sally Mae, it's both. If you're not already part of the elite community, check it out. Everything is there broken down for you. It's very simple. Excuse me. Water went down the wrong pipe. It says that I could spend like an hour playing around with the prompt and never get to where I'm going. Yeah, I know what you mean. I hate that feeling. I hate that. I used to do that for a long time. So I have it all broken down for you so you can get exactly what you want every single time, but a different variation of what you want and what you like. Very simple. Join the eBay art community. The link is right next in the comments. It's pinned, and I'll guide you in there. You could either find you can find it in there. Water break. Excuse me. Hope that cleared it out. Yeah, that feels better. All right, now we're back. I got a frog. I had a frog stuck in my throat. Grok is amazing. I love Grok. And I love how they work on it so it can always evolve. So you can see on this one, instead of me building up on the black first, I started with the colors first and then did the black later on so it could be kind of like a silhouette effect. There's no right or wrong when we're doing art. Now what I'm going to do is the last touch is I'm going to add white to highlight the areas, and that's that. Yes, honey helps. I'll have to take some honey after this, but I think we're past it now. How many paintings have you been completing so far during this live stream? Let me know. Where are you at? Another thing that hurts artists is too much information. Analysis by paralysis. You'll have too much information where you'll spend more time researching stuff of what to do and what type of art reference and what type of AI to use and what type of reference to do where you won't do anything at all. You know that feeling? And then you feel like you did something when really all the thing you did that day was just do references. Oh, that's awesome. Working on an eagle, but only 6, working on the 5th. I'm not sick. It just went down the I was drinking water and then it went down the wrong pipe. You know what I'm talking about. But I appreciate it. I've been reselling on eBay for 10 years now, but I never thought about trying to sell my art there. Thanks for your channel. It's showing me it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. I've been doing it for 7, 8 years now. And it's better than reselling because you don't have to go out there and try to find items that you got to spend money on at the thrift store or electronics or whatever, and then you only make a small profit margin and you got to wait around for people to buy it. And how I show it inside the elite community is that anybody can do it. There's a systems in place of how to do it. And there's so many members in here who've had success with it and will vouch for it, how it's helped them even with little to no experience themselves. All right, let me put my signature on this one. We're done. Take a picture. Boom. Does eBay like it more if it's on canvas compared to if it's on paper? Here, look at this. Check this out. We did this together. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? There's our cowboy on a horse. You're asking a lot of elite questions, or drop me a super chat and I'll tell you. Drop me a super chat, join the elite community, send me a message over there, and we'll get you together. If y'all found value in this video, leave me a super chat. Let me know that y'all appreciate this video. Helps motivate me to keep showing up, especially like tomorrow and the day after. Let me know that y'all appreciate this, that it helped you flow better in your work. If you have some questions, some more specific art questions, leave a super chat with it. The horse is coming out of the frame. Exactly. That's the point. I love it like that. It's like that 3D look. Also, check this out. I know what I wanted to ask you. So what I'm contemplating on starting to do for the free community that we have over there. This has no effect for the elite community, but for the free community, I think what I'm going to start doing is have anyone that's over there pay $5 one time to join, so that way it could be a better community. I'm having a little bit of a spam issue over there at times, but also catch you later. Got to go eat. Have a good one. But also noticing that I want people to have the transition to where they're going to transition into the elite. Instead of treating it like it's a Facebook group where we're just showing art and that's it. That's not the whole purpose of it. The purpose is that there's a transition for people who want to take it serious. And I remember I was contemplating on doing this about 2 months ago, where I was going to make it $7, but it was going to be like monthly or whatever. And certain people kind of, they didn't like the idea of it. And I wish that I would have done it then, to be honest with you, because there's so much information that's on, there's so much information that's still there on the free site. And I have over there, there's like 1,500 members over there. But people only value what they pay for. They won't get any courses or anything like that, but they'll get the community, and they pay a one time just to be a part of the free community. And then after a while, what they'll value is they'll make the transition to elite. But I think for now, how it is, you get too many tire kickers, as they say, where people won't value what it is, but it also will make the community better, at least on the free side, where I could focus a little bit more to give the value instead of people who just came over probably out of curiosity and then they just didn't ever do anything with it. And that's not what I'm looking for. Because if so, then that's you could just go to a Facebook page for that. Came across this the other day. That's awesome. Glad you're here. You're dropping diamonds here. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, I mean, I'm always dropping some gems. So I think that's what I'm talking about right now is that I mean, all the diamonds and support really go to the elite community. But there's even a lot of gems after a while that's in the free community. And I just don't think I want to make it fair for everybody, but also fair for the timing where I can help people into the transition when they're ready to evolve and transition to the elite community. And I think I'm going to turn the free community into a one-time payment of like $5 is just an entry fee for them to be there instead of that way people get involved and you value what you pay for. That way you could transition yourself and people can help themselves. Does that if that makes sense? I know it doesn't make any difference to most people that's in here because you're already part of the elite community and nothing changes for you because you're already putting in the work. You're already doing stuff. So you're like, what do I care? The hell with those freebies. But let's see here. It makes sense. Even with such a low initial entry, it will keep out the riffraff or those who are not serious and only looking only to find reasons why it won't work. As exactly. Haters usually don't pay. So that's the problem that I'm having. And then it's dropping. What I came across the other day was in the link is selling art on eBay or race to the bottom. She's bashing you and what we do are doing. Oh, okay. On Facebook. I appreciate that, and yeah, I seen you. Yeah, so those haters like that. So exactly, you're exactly saying what I'm talking about. Um, where they're looking for reasons to not do the work. They're looking for reasons, and I'm coming across that inside the free community instead of putting in the work. And I think it's a very small initial fee. And I'm being generous about it. It hit me this morning. I'll be generous about it where I wouldn't charge like a monthly fee or nothing. It would just be a one-time fee where it would be one to get the riffraff, but also that way you can have some dirt, some investment in the game. You know, when people get health advice, right? And they get a fitness plan, they never take the fitness plan serious from the ones that they get for free. But then they they get fitness, they they're selling art on eBay or something. But then they take serious what they take serious is the ones that they pay for. Because you paid for it, you invest in it. But if you don't invest in it, you don't take it serious, or you think that you could just, oh, I'll get around to it kind of thing. And I want to get that crowd out. I want to filter that out because that's not what it's about. I want to be able to help people. And the only way that I can help you is you being invested into it. Because what we do, I mean, it's such a marvelous thing what everybody does inside the elite community and in the path and the journey that you put on. You put the work in, you understand, you have to be dedicated in it instead of people who are curious and they're finding reasons why it won't work for them, why they won't do it, instead of investing something in themselves of why they can. If not, If they can't do it, now think about this: if they can't invest in the $5 at least for their future for themselves, then they won't even be able to invest any money into their art career. How would they be able to buy materials or even do anything if they can't even invest $5 into the free community? Then I shouldn't feel guilty about it. I guess I was going to do something like that 2 months ago where it was going to be $7, and I felt kind of guilty about it because it's like I don't know. I was like, oh well, like a piece of me, like I owe them a great community. No, I don't. I don't owe anybody a free community. If you want a free art community, then to go to Facebook. But I don't owe anybody a free community because after a while, when you're a tire kicker, what I noticed too is people who's either lazy, if they stay there for long enough, they're going to soak up enough gems where they get the information for free, kind of thing, and that's not fair. Let's see here. It says, yeah, I think we saw the same video one of our former members was posting in the comments. Here, let me know about that. What were they saying? I found your store on eBay, the 7 paintings you sold yesterday. Did they come from your live painting session yesterday? No, they came from I don't know if it was 7 paintings that I sold, but they were from an auction. I was getting rid of 10 by nines. They were very quick 10 by nines that I was getting rid of, and I sold a few on auction. But then I also sold some of them on auction that I start the bid off at $50 plus our $15 shipping. So there was like a few of those that went. So I think last night I sold 3 or 4 $50 auction paintings because I started them off at $47 plus the $15 shipping. And then the other ones were combined shipping from a couple days ago or whatever. I got auctions that's still going off out now. The ones that didn't sell, whatever, it's just going to be cross listed. Don't really care. You have your number one spam detector, me. Exactly. No, I appreciate that. I'm not in the elite yet, but I am serious. I'm having to go at my own pace to get there. Been having eye issues and other medical problems, and much older than my Gmail pick reflects, and still work a full time job. I understand. Keep thinking on it. You are a product service. So technically, it would go back to your vision and discernment of how to categorize participation. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's still for me, especially in this economy, like $5 is free. Like you spend $5 on, you spend $5 before you get out of the bed. We spend $5 on nothing. So it's like it's just $5 one-time fee just so that you're a part of the community. It's still a free community, but you just had to pay $5 one time. It wouldn't even be in a recurring charge. So I'm gonna drop a video later and explain it to the community. Like there's going to be changes around here. I got to tighten things up. And the people who don't pay it, then you can always come back to the community, but I got to tighten it up and I got to get some of those people out of there. Especially when I go to the free community and I see I got 1500, I have 1500 members, but yet if I go to active, like on an average active, how many people are active in there? It'll be like 40, 40 or 50 active people. I can't have that. That's not cool. And it has nothing to do with me because I've already made myself, I've already done. It's about the work that needs to be done and the help. I can help more people out in a certain form or be active. Like when it's like that, it'll make me not take the free community serious either to at least help people where they're at into the transition. And that's the great part too, because I understand I'm trying to meet people where they're at when they're ready, but I can't even feel like doing that if I know that it's like there's mostly just tire kickers or people who aren't even there or people who just came because they're interested and maybe they want to soak up a little bit of free information, and that's not fair. So, I mean, I'm under the impression that live or time lapse videos of artists make art translate to sales if it's easy for the customer, like your eBay link in the description. I'm under the impression that live or time lapse videos of artists making art translate to sales if it's easy for the customer. Like you, eBay link in the description. I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Am I reading that wrong? So I just wanted to pick your brain. But you know me anyways, like I'm just really telling you what I'm about to do. I don't really go off of the pick in the brain like you're going to have any effect off of my decisions anyways. My decision is my decision. It's just more so this is what's going to happen. I should have done it's fine that I didn't do it when I wanted to do it because now at least I have a little bit more testers in the market of what is and what isn't. I was still new at the time. So me making that decision when it was so new, it wasn't I didn't have enough data, but now I have too much data on it and it's only right as a business standpoint. The ones who are serious, and the ones who aren't, they're never going to be. So that's fine. Just you could go to Facebook with it. And then when you are serious or when you want to come back or whatever, then you can. If the customer sees you painting live, then there's a better chance of selling because of the video, the human element. Yeah, that's partly true as well too. I'm sure it's just all about advertising. Maria says absolutely. Which part absolutely do you agree with, Maria? What part are you saying absolutely? What part do you think? Let me know. Always love to hear what you think. I agree 100%. Let me know what you agree 100%, Maria. And Dark Masquerade or Dave, I believe. Let me know what you agree on. You should charge a small fee for short time, but then they got to pay to get all this info. It's a lot of gold. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Charging the fee group one time. Yeah, I'm going to do a one-time fee. That way, it's still the free community, and there's no courses that's really in there. There's nothing in there. You know, everything, all the gold and everything is in the elite community, but a one-time fee for because that way I know if you do that at least, then you're on the trajectory to help yourself where I can help you inside the elite community. I just paid the plumber $354. That sets me back even more the possibility of joining the elite. Exactly. About the YouTube video on 99 cent eBay in general, not specifically our plan. It's not something really to dwell on during a live. I'll send you the link later in the community. It wasn't specifically about us. People who don't know things are going to jump to conclusions. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you could just send me whatever. Like I said, we stay in our own frequency. We don't worry about people. People always punch up, they don't punch down. Without your steps, it would have took a year or more to learn on our own, and many shortcuts you give in the business, you need to jump and start if you can. I appreciate that. That's so true. That's what I always say. There's so much information that's packed in there, it will take you forever. Some people think that they could just start eBay and then you'll just figure it out. You'll just figure it out. You just start it. Look at this. Isn't it great? That's our ballerina right there. She's beautiful. I'll just figure it out. Corbellic says just list on eBay and I'll figure it out. And then they do it and then they realize that they set their account up wrong or the whole process. Then they come back and they go, "Hey, what do I do on this? How do I do this?" They come back in the full free community where they don't participate in anything and then they start asking questions. I'm like, you set your account up wrong. You need to join the elite. Stop wasting your time. Like everybody has coaches, even millionaires and billionaires have coaches. I still have a coach. I have a mentor. That's the only way that you're going to be able to save yourself time. You save yourself time by hiring the professionals. Just like where you're talking about, you hire a plumber. You're not going to get on YouTube and try to find, I'm going to do it myself and let me learn for free and I'm going to do my own plumber. No, you hire the plumber. Everybody has a mentor. Everybody has a program that you're under. The program is what's going to help you accelerate. The program is what's going to help you be successful. The program is what's going to help you become accountable. All successful people have a program. That's what people don't even understand either. Is like you need to get on somebody's program, but once you get on somebody's program, don't have so many different other mentors. Stay focused on that one program that you're on. That's the big part of what we do inside the elite community is that I'm holding you to be accountable. We talk about numbers. We talk about you showing up and doing the work. It's also about a mental thing about you being accountable alongside with the eBay stuff. But you have to be a part of somebody's program to be successful. We are your tribe, and you're my tribe. No, there is stuff in the training that saves a lot of time and pain, a step-by-step roadmap. It's worth the investment into ourselves to make a better future. Exactly. We are in the community all thank for you. We we in the art community all thank you for doing this for us. No one else is doing this and being real and teach what you can actually do and earn real money. Exactly. Because if I can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna do one more painting. I'm gonna do one more painting. Like that's the real secret too. It's like people don't know that who don't know, but people who do know, who are millionaires and billionaires, everybody is under somebody's program. You have a mentor, you have a coach. Everybody does if you want to be successful. That way you hold yourself accountable. You check in. You have a tribe. It's a mindset. If you do it alone, it's just more difficult and you're going to be like bumping your head and you're going to waste years of learning of different things. That's what people pay for when they pay for coaching is how to shortcut the success, but also how to figure these things out. Other coaches, you might go to a coach and pay for a good mentorship or coaching when they work with you on a one-on-one. That's most. The best thing about us is that you're working with a mentor and coaching, but we're all in this together where we have a community where you also have other people who are going through it with you. That's the difference. All right, this one we're going to do a birdie. I love doing the birdies because there's so many different colors how you could do it. There's no right or wrong. Boom. Let me dry this off. Says you don't know what you don't know. How else are you going to learn all that you need unless someone directs you in a proper direction to facilitate that acquirement of knowledge? Thank you, Corbellic, art community and Corbellic. No, thank you. We're all in this together. Like I said, this doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to, it belongs to all of us. Are there specific go-to breeds that you prefer for birds? No, I just I just pull up birds. I don't know. I don't really know too much about birds. I I I called a bird the other video a red robin, and then someone was like, "That's a cardinal." I was like, "I don't know. I'm sorry." Blue jacket, red jacket. I don't know. Beautiful birdies. I like you, but please don't tuck your ears into your hat. My hat is big, so it's like it's I just randomly picked up the hat. I didn't even know if it was the right size or anything. I randomly picked it up, so it just naturally does that. Look at that. See, I can't even if I try. There, I would have to do this. I would have to do this then. Does that work better? There you go. Now it just feels weird. That's a cardinal sin right there. That's a good one. A magpie can mimic speech if you split its tongue down the middle. What does that mean? What does that mean? All right, so this one, I'm just going to go into the black. I'm just going to do the layering on the black on this one, and then we're going to build up the color afterwards. Yeah, I do like the turquoise highlight colors. That's for sure. I do like that. I'm not even gonna lie. Don't forget, Crown Target, to send me that link later on, or send me that link now of what you were talking about. I would love to see. I guess the one we are talking about with the former or whatever. Sorry, that's funny. No, it's fine. I wasn't even gonna wear the hat today, but it was a little bit nippy today. So I see you just I don't even hat etiquette. There you go. Don't know. Magpies are like small crows, but with the white accents. They're smarter than the ravens and crows. They can mimic words if you split their tongue. Oh, Native Americans and early Spanish, they used they used to use them. That's great. I'm gonna look into that. Okay. So I will offset my comment by saying that I was so inspired by Corbellic that I bought an easel and cheap projector, and I feel so pumped. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Messenger birds, they used to split their tongues. That's wild. I didn't know that. I'm gonna look into that. Your technique is great for birds. You could specialize on those birds. I could specialize on everything. I could specialize on anything that I want to paint. What are you talking about? All right, let me dry off this black because I don't, when it comes to this layer, I don't want to paint on top of the wet black. Old tail had a baby crow. Their tongues are barbed. Wow, you guys really know a lot about birds here. You're talking over my head. when it comes to this stuff. I just like how beautiful they are and all the colors and how majestic they are. The heat gun that I use is the Wagner heat gun. I could kiss it. It's so quiet. The heat gun, I don't know. I always think that it's too loud and I'm like scared to talk over it when it's on to say anything. Usually I want to keep quiet because I think it's loud. Usually when I'm editing the videos before I was doing the live, I would never talk on that and I would just edit it out because I would think that it was disturbing. Now this is the fun part because it's like there's no right or wrong when it comes to the colors that we're putting in here. We use that black as a foundation. Just broad, confident strokes, right? Boom. Now we're going to go into the lighter color, the white. Very good pet, but it's illegal. What? So now there's even illegal there's illegal crows or illegal birds. I'm learning so much. You guys know a lot about these birds. That's awesome. Cold in Cali. Yeah, it gets cold and gets cold here too. It is the desert after all. Change it up with a little bit of pink here. Let's see. And you could just always have so much fun and do this yourself with different colors. There's no right or wrong. You don't have to wait for inspiration or motivation or anything like that. It's just in the action and it's always going to find you. There's my turquoise. You know, I love that. Look at that. It's beautiful. Now let's go in with a little bit of red to make that a little bit stronger. I don't know what I'm doing. You have to pay for growth for the images that you get, or is it the free version? Grok has a time limit on how many images that you get. It's just better to pay for it so you could just keep getting your different references because they have a certain limit of how many you could get, or they even have a limit of like what time of day that you use it. I mean, it's just like anything else in the world, right? Nothing's free. These are all business expenses, but it's a great business investment because I don't want to spend time trying to recreate the wheel. Yep. Remind yourself that it's just what somebody's looking for. Exactly. Someone's looking exactly for either that color, that style. Someone else might not like it, but someone else will love it. And then if not, you could just try to paint another one again in the future, and then that one, they're gonna like it. I used to get hung up, right, about, like, maybe the market wasn't right for that type of painting that I did, or maybe just whatever, and then I used to get so hung up in thinking that, "Oh, the art that I did is ugly, nobody likes it," when really it just had to deal with the timing. It could be the timing as well too, and then I paint it again in the future, and then it sells for a lot, and it has nothing to do with sometimes I used to be like, if I test the market with something and I like it, but then all of a sudden the market, it doesn't go for what I think it's gonna be, then I'm like, "Oh, it was an ugly piece of art." When really in actuality, it was just the timing where maybe the market didn't have the money for it, or whatever the circumstances might have been. And that has nothing to do with me, and I can't control that. I'm just gonna paint it again in the future, a different variation of it, and then someone will love it. Look at that. What do you think? Isn't that awesome? Look at that, right? I think it's beautiful. All right, let me put my signature on it, and then that's about it. I'm done. All right, look at that, huh? Isn't that beautiful? I love that bird right there. That's such a beautiful bird. Look, if I can do this, you can do it. There is no right or wrong. That's the reason why I love creating art. I love showing up. I love being able to just do different types of paintings where it doesn't matter because there's no right or wrong, and there's going to be somebody out there who love it. That's why I also work in paint or in volume and speed because we're finding our happy mistakes within the 10, 15 minutes. And here, let me do this again. We're finding our happy mistakes within our 10, 15 minutes, and it's all good. And that way you can have more of the lottery ticket effects. So I appreciate everybody who showed up today. Leave me some likes on there before you leave. If you can, leave me some super chats. Let me know that you appreciate everything that's going on here. I appreciate your hat is awesome. Go Buccaneers. That's so awesome. Thank you. I like the tussle spiky feathers. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank everybody. Thank everybody for showing up. So we're gonna do it the same time tomorrow. It's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific time, and that's 1 p.m. on New York time. All right. So Eastern Standard. I'm gonna load this thing up with some more paint. I'm going to go into the community right now, see some comments that's in there, work there as well. If you're not already a part of the awesome community where you can find out how you can do this yourself, click the link below, join us in the free eBay art community, and that way you can transition over to the elite and you can get everything built out for you. All right. So I appreciate everybody joining. I'm about to log out right now, and I'll see you on the next one.